What's going on, my friends? I'm here on YouTube. I'm about to launch the Facebook in a second, and we'll get it cracking. What's going on, Facebook? I'm doing the double stream. This seems to be the play now. Got the Facebooks, got the YouTubes, try to double up my audience. Maybe one day I'll use one of those streaming services and just put it on Twitter too. But for now, I want to talk about Los Angeles County. They are suspending outdoor dining and indoor dining. So Gavin Newsom basically suspended indoor dining and did new lockdowns on gyms and stuff. And the LA County wants to go a step further and ban outdoor dining. Folks, this is the destruction of the restaurant industry. It's already been hurting. Obviously, they're operating at 25% capacity, 50% capacity. A lot of bars can't serve drinks the way they used to. And if you've ever worked in the food industry, you know that a lot of the revenue comes from drinks because it's a product that people pay over for. Obviously, food is good too, but there's bars and clubs that still haven't opened, and they're just killing the entire city. And, I got a clip from Bill Cooper that I think is very representative of what's going on. And then unlike some other people, it's not a competition, but I'm just saying I'm going to try to provide some solutions. And I hope that people will be the solution, because at the end of the day, you could like the president, you could not like the president, you could have faith in whoever. But at the end of the day, it seems like we're on our own. When enough business owners wake up and reject this, when enough people care about the fact that their neighborhood is turning into a hellhole instead of, storming the streets over the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers brought out 10, 20, 30, 50,000 people saying, yay, we won the Lakers Corona Bowl. But as they're shutting down businesses and you literally can't eat outdoors, this is like slave prison treatment. I'm sure there's certain prisons in the world that have better treatment than what we're getting right now. And I'm not saying I'm grateful to not be in prison. I'm just saying, like, this is literally prison and slave treatment. It's not an over exaggeration. This is the craziest thing that happened, but nobody seems to be processing it. So to my friends in Los Angeles, to the people of Los Angeles, and to the people all over the country, you can't wait for somebody else. You can't just think this is going to go away. It's not going to go away. They're never going to stop. And of course, it's flu season. November, December, January, February is flu season. So why would the coronavirus go down in flu season? I've never heard of a virus or a coronavirus or a, influenza virus that just, gets a lot better in the winter. I don't think that's ever happened in my lifetime. I don't think it's ever going to happen in my lifetime because of the conditions. It seems like it never happens, but apparently they want to tell you you're in the purple zone. So now your business needs to be destroyed, but not Amazon. Same story on loop, folks. We're going to wait a minute for everyone to get in. Appreciate you guys. God bless you. I got a clip. I don't know how else to play it. So I brought my laptop and I'm going to hold it up in a second, drink my coffee. And then we're going to get started. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about action, what we can do. Yesterday, I was at a protest in Huntington Beach. It was an anti-lockdown protest. There were hundreds of people there. I didn't post it on Facebook because they'll probably take my Facebook page down. I posted it on YouTube. No offense, F them. So, this is like the start of something. And I think it's going on in certain states and certain cities. But people by the hundreds, people by the thousands, business owners by the hundreds, business owners by the thousands, by the millions, by the tens of millions. I don't know any other solution than mass disobedience, mass, understanding the law. If you're a business, if you're a citizen, understanding how to get a medical mask exemption, and then to use that, and then to understand the law and talk to some lawyers, and then, flex on a big corporation. These are games we're going to start having to play. My friend Lara sent me, it is essentially some sort of website that shows business owners their constitutional rights. Because a lot of this stuff is trying to scare you. They're mandating a lot. And you'll see my video tomorrow if you watch. I'm working on it now. It's a full-fledged video. They brag about fear. Like they say, well, you don't wear the mask because you have to. This is Cuomo. He basically says you wear it because of the fear. So they know a lot of this stuff is psychological, where if you understand your rights as a business owner, if you understand what to put on your door and, get to the right websites, which I'm going to start sharing with you once I collect that information, you could protect yourself, put it on the door, lawyer up if you have to. I know I don't want to do that, and I'm sure a bunch of people don't. But at a certain point in Los Angeles, they're killing the city. They're killing the business industry. They're killing restaurants. And closing indoor and outdoor when it's California. It's if you look on the map of coronavirus, California is not even in the top 30 worst states as far as in deaths per capita. So Gavin Newsom claimed that there would be 20 million coronavirus cases by May. It's now November. There's only over 1 million cases, which is 25 times less what he predicted in 8 weeks and 8 months. And they still move force. Guys, I'm trying to be calm because I don't like to be upset. But my attitude from here on out is F these devils. F anybody that tries to stand in my way from doing what's right. F it all. Because I don't know what else. Like this is not time for like, oh, I don't know what's going on. It's like they're killing your business. They have no metrics. They lie about the data. They skew about it. I have dozens of videos. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen them. And I just don't know what every other leader is doing. Like, have they not noticed this? They're like, well, the data doesn't show that. Like the science is clear. The science is they're trying to kill your business. They'll move the goalposts no matter how far they move them. If you're California and you're doing well in deaths per capita, they'll still shut down indoor and outdoor dining, even though it's, good weather. So you can't afford to eat outside. If you're in New Jersey or New York, it's not easy to eat outside in winter. So how evil these demons are, knowing California weather's good, like, oh, we could eat outdoors. And then LA says, no, now you can't eat outdoors, even though the weather's good, even though there's no science that proves that that's bad. We have Lakers celebrations. We have lockdown protests. We have all sorts of stuff. But this is so mind-bogglingly evil. I'm trying to be calm and drink my coffee. You've got to be kidding me. Sorry, guys. They shut down my Facebook feed. So YouTube, we're still good. Facebook, I got to go back live again. Sorry about this, folks. They shut my feed down. I have no idea why. I don't know if it was random, but I'm going to have to relaunch it. I had 3,000 or 4,000 people on Facebook, and they shut it down. These are the sick games that these people play. I mean, they could say it's random, but I've live streamed for 2 years, never had any problems. They demonetized me, cut my reach, and now my feed goes off. I'm going back live, folks. Sorry about this on YouTube. I can't even enjoy my coffee because they won't allow me to live. Hold on one second. All right, I'm launching on Facebook again. Let's see if it works. Thanks for your patience, YouTube. All right, Facebook, we're back. I apologize. They cut my live feed out. If you guys haven't been paying attention on Facebook, they've cut my feed by 95%. They've lied about me. They've libeled me. They've let fact checkers essentially shut my page down. They're now apparently blocking or shutting down my live streams. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to drink my coffee. Thank you for your patience, YouTube. Thank you for your patience, Facebook. Thanks for coming back in. I'm sorry that happened. I have no idea why I shut down. I need to calm down before I get upset. Hold on. Yeah, it got cut off. Thank you guys, Facebook. All right. We'll give 30 seconds for Facebook to get in. It's good coffee. I brew it myself. It's got a little bit of ghee butter in there. It's got a little bit of MCT oil. Everyone always says, Anomaly, are you on drugs? This is all, it's just pure coffee and water. I probably shouldn't drink so much coffee, but it is what it is. All right, we're back up to 2,000 people on Facebook. We got almost 1,000 people on YouTube. Appreciate you guys. Someone said I got zucked. It's unbelievable. And these are the games. Before I show you the clip of Bill Cooper that's really timely, these are the games that they're going to play, folks. I don't want to overstate it. I don't want to lose my page. I don't want to sound like I'm crazy and exaggerate, but I truly believe they are trying to kill this country. They are trying to kill businesses. They are trying to kill people. They are killing the restaurant industry in LA County. It's completely anti-scientific. They're not even in the top 20, 25 states in deaths per capita, yet they're still doing it. They're doing 25 times better that the governor predicted that they'd do by May, and it's now November, and they're still doing it. I'm tired of these conservatives acting stupid. I'm tired of these little riddles. I'm tired of these trust the plans. I'm tired of these question mark with emoji, like wondering what's going on for 5,000 retweets from conservatives that are like, yeah, it's going on. It's time to mobilize peacefully. It's time to protest. It's time to resist. I don't care if they take my money, close my bank card, close this stuff. It's all coming, folks. They're already doing it. Closing down people's Venmo, closing down people's PayPal, closing down people's account. Oh, you want to reopen California? Close down your Facebook page. Oh, you want to defend yourself? Close down your Facebook page, destroy 10 years worth of family photos and say nothing to you. Oh, you didn't even violate a law. You posted an NBC News article that quoted the CDC directly. Oh, well, we're going to penalize your thing. Oh, Mark Levin, we're going to penalize your thing. These people are coming for blood, folks, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I know a lot of people need this wake up, and the Bill Cooper video will hopefully inspire that in some people. We've lived such a good life, and I'm so grateful and I'm so appreciative even to this day. I'm so fortunate. In my opinion, I've had great parents. I've lived in maybe the pinnacle of human civilization for a while. I'm sure there's been better architecture and stronger men and stuff, but very grateful, very privileged, very lucky to live in a world that was so calm for a little while that nobody seems to know what's going on. Nobody seems to be able to counter it. Nobody seems to be able to stand up for themselves. And the evil people are just getting away with anything because the good people are just so cowardly. They're just so complacent. They're just so, oh, it's going to go away in a couple days, or Trump's going to do it, or Sidney Powell will do it for me. Trump's working. I'm sure he is. Sidney Powell's working. I'm sure she is. But we, the people, have to start working on our own. We can't wait for a few people and a lawyer to drag us across the finish line. It's going to take millions of people, tens of millions of people, hundreds of millions of people saying enough is enough. I don't understand how we've even gotten here, but at the same time, I do. So I'm going to play this clip. Thank you guys for joining. We got 3,200 people back on Facebook. Pretty much everyone came back in. So I want to just talk about before the LA. The story is very simple. I could go on forever, but LA is closing and suspending outdoor dining at restaurants. So they've never had indoor dining. I know some of the more conservative counties in California have been eating indoors for months, and recently they closed indoor dining. So now it's all outdoor dining, and a lot of the conservative counties in LA are working with, trying to keep these businesses afloat, although it's still really hard because they shut indoors. It's still messed up. LA County is going for the full blow. This is like if you've ever played Mortal Kombat and you pretty much kill the person, and then they're just sitting here like this, they're like half dead, and it says, finish him. And then you do some sort of fatality, some crazy thing to end the final death blow. Like, this is the finish him fatality moment for the restaurant industry. Most restaurants cannot work at 50% capacity for a week, let alone a month, let alone for 5 months, let alone not have outdoors. Now, Eric Garcetti and this devil, ghost looking woman, no disrespect to my white brothers and sisters. Listen, no matter what your skin color is, I think it's beautiful, but I'm not talking like she's albino. I'm born in Greenland white, or my parents are Swedish white. I'm talking like she looks like she saw a ghost white. It looks like she was Latino last week. She saw a ghost, doesn't eat her vegetables, and now she's so like she looks sick. And she's the one shutting down the gyms, the health director of Los Angeles County. If you want to see a frightening picture, just search LA County Health Director, least healthy person on the planet besides maybe like the Belgium health minister. Look up that nightmare of a woman. But in general, these are the people that are going to tell me that they're looking out for my health. No, they're doing the death blow to the restaurant industry, folks. And this is a really inspiring and very insightful 3-minute clip. I should have cleaned this. I mean, it's not like that dirty, but I need a little Windex or something. But anyway, Bill Cooper was, he was in the military, and he was a figure who was ahead of his time talking about a lot of this stuff. And he always talked about the Roman circus. And this just reminds me of LA County, because just a month ago, you had tens of thousands of people in the streets to celebrate LeBron James winning the NBA finals. Okay. I'm a basketball fan. I'm not talking down to people. I love NBA. I love basketball. I like playing it. I like watching it. I'm no stranger to it. But it kind of rubs me the wrong way. You got all these people in the streets celebrating the coronavirus bubble NBA, where they shut the season down. They didn't allow fans, and they replaced humans with virtual fans. So I watched myself. I used to go to Lakers game. My friend had box seats. I'd be up in the box. I got replaced with a hologram. This is like every sci-fi movie ever. It's like, Anomaly is so crazy. Don't watch him. It's like, what world are you living in? Am I making this stuff up? Am I just here did I not get replaced with a virtual hologram fan? They replaced me with like AI fans and like little Zoom people on Zooms and cardboard cutouts like that literally. And I'm like, guys, they're replacing you with non-humans. This is like a Will Smith movie where he fights and no one's paying attention. And then everyone goes out and celebrates by the thousands, tens of thousands, millions in LA. Of course, the Democrats say nothing. And now it's push come to shove. LA, I used to live there for 7 or 8 years. Guys, I like LA. Millions of good people are there. The city is going to shit, okay? Piss, tents, trash, homelessness before COVID. Now with COVID, now with the shutdowns, the city is a walking zombie land. Any sort of joyful and, stay-worthy aspect of LA County has been completely wiped out by coronavirus. And they're just slowly killing off every immigrant-owned business, small business, no matter what ethnicity you are. If you were born here, They're destroying the restaurant industry. My question is, are those tens of thousands of people who are in the streets for the Lakers going to be in the streets to save their communities? No. And this is why I left LA and I went somewhere else, because I live somewhere where people like where we live. We rally around where we live, and we're ready to protect where we live. There, nobody gives a crap about each other. They don't give a crap about the businesses. They'll be in the streets for LeBron James, but they won't even be in the streets for their own businesses, as their city's literally getting taken over by authoritarian communists. And it sounds extreme, but here's William Cooper basically predicting all this stuff a couple years, or like 20 years ago. And it's very profound. So I could have played it on there, but I figured you want to see the video too. So I'll just play it on here.
Fantastic salaries. I was listening to the radio the other day. They just contracted to pay one player on one team $6 million.
Can y'all hear it? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it.
Can you believe this?
And why is that?
It's the Roman circus. What does the emperor do when the people become restive, and when the people are asking questions, and when the people don't like the policies of the emperor? He sends them to the circus. He creates a circus. He builds a giant coliseum. And he begins to throw the Christians to the lions. He has great chariot races and football games and basketball games, all to keep the idiots preoccupied with things that don't mean anything in the scheme of the entire world, so that they don't have the time to learn what the truth is, so they don't ever get smart enough to learn how they're being manipulated, so they don't ever question the emperor. That's why they pay a player on a football team or a baseball team $1 million or $2 million or $3 million a year. It is the Roman circus. I know men who don't know anything in the world except who plays third base for the Mets. And they think that's a great accomplishment. And they meet and pat each other on the back and bond and go have cocktails and talk about what this guy that plays third base for the Mets did in last night's game. It's sad. It's really sad.
Is there any room in a kind of society where these manipulations are not taking place for this type of entertainment, or any type of entertainment at all?
If people understand that a game is a game, football's a game. But let me tell you something. When 150 of the most powerful men and women in the world can meet in secret in Baden-Baden, Germany, and plot the fate of billions, and nobody even cares about it. But 6 football players go to lunch together, and it's in the headlines across the country. You have a reflection of the society in which that exists. And it is a sick society that is doomed to self-destruction.
So based on that scenario, there's some truth into what these men are looking at.
Absolutely. And that's what makes me so sick, is that I'm trying to wake up a people who on a daily basis are proving the ones that I'm warning them about to be right.
Mm-hmm. Well, so that even though a minority, there are people out there that you recognize are awake to this, if they don't do something about it, they will lose that ability to be free in that way.
That's correct.
Whether they might think, well, I don't need to worry about it because I know what I know and I'm fine.
That's
it doesn't work that way. There's a connection here to everything.
That is correct. That is absolutely correct. A nation of people who are willing to send their sons and daughters that they profess that they love to a foreign country to die, and they use the excuse to themselves that they're sending them off to defend our country, and they know damn well that's a lie, are doomed.
So a lot to unpack there. Very prophetic. I actually have, it's on my shelf somewhere. I recently reorganized, so I don't have it. Behold a Pale Horse, legendary book. I still haven't finished it, but I've kind of flipped through it by Bill Cooper. He was in the military. I mean, they called him a conspiracy theorist at the time, but basically, you know, he said, when people care more about 6 football players going to lunch than they do about the most powerful people who run every aspect of your society, what you wear, what you eat, what you drive, when you can do what, where you can travel to, they're deciding the stuff in secret and no one cares. You know, this is not sustainable. And the craziest part about what he's saying is they used to do it in secret. And I heard of Bill Cooper, Alex Jones, David Icke growing up, and it seems so real, but you couldn't put a finger on it because everything was so secretive. Bohemian Grove, Bilderberg. The last 10 years, folks, they just started putting this stuff right out in the middle of the open. That's when I started really getting vocal. And even like 2016, I didn't need to play these games. That's why I'm very weary. And I tell people, you don't need to play these little riddle games where you're waiting for 5 months and trying to decode Trump tweets. And, now you're a fan of Department of Defense and regime change war because someone told you to. It's like, you don't need to play those games anymore, folks. It's not 1992. These people are on blogs literally writing about taking over the world and making sure you own nothing. These people are not meeting in private anymore. They're meeting in public, and they're broadcasting their scheme on YouTube. Event 201, which is eerily similar to what happened this year, was filmed in 2019 by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, World Economic Forum, and Johns Hopkins, and they posted it on YouTube, folks, in October. So, when they make it so obvious to everybody and people just still don't care, you're facing some dark times. And I want to say this too, is, I think for years, like when Bill Cooper was into it, and when he was talking about that was probably maybe 70s, 80s, or 90s, the most. It was so covert. G. Edward Griffin was talking about it. You had McCarthy say there's communists, and everybody laughed them off the stage. And then the communists won World War II, and they formed the UN and the EU, and it was a communist downslide since then. But in general, it sounded crazy then because it was so incremental. And even for me, I watch what I say. I try to be as accurate as I can. I don't like to overhype things. I like to be balanced as much as possible, although I'm not going to lie and sit on the fence if I know what I'm talking about. But in general, the incrementalism, it was like incremental, sneaky in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. And people like Bill Cooper saw it, and he tried to warn everybody, and nobody wanted to listen and thought he was crazy. And then the 2000s, it started heating up. And then 2008 to 2016, like it started heating up. And then 2016 to 2019, it started escalating to the point where, like, I don't care if you're a Democrat, I don't care if you're a Republican, but if you don't understand what's going on in 2019, like, it's hard for me to even have a conversation with you because you're so far indoctrinated. It's not like we're playing Bilderberg, with the binoculars with Bill Cooper. It's like it's right in front of your face. And 2020, I have patience in general, but I've essentially lost my patience for even being chill. And I hate to let the world ruin me, but I'm the type of person that says, hey, even before, I'll fight for my people, I'll fight for what's right, but just leave me alone. Let me have my property, let me have this, let me have a vacation or two, just leave me alone, let me be a free man, and I'm going to be righteous, but I'm not going to freak out over everything. I get it. You guys are crazy. I'm going to live my own life. They've prevented me from living my own life. I can't do anything anymore. I can't enjoy a coffee. I can't go to eat. I can't go on a cruise. I can't go on vacation. Nothing's open. The communists have ruined the society. So excuse my language. It's nighttime. Put the kids to bed. It's fuck you until we get our freedom back now. I'm not sugarcoating stuff. They've incrementally just fucked our country over for 30, 40 years. And then they did it extremely from 2016 to 2019. And now it's so blatantly obvious. It's so out in the face. It's so real. It's so not even debatable at this point. If you don't get it and you're trying to stand in my way, it's fuck you until I get my freedom back. Because you have LA County now, after 8 months, after Gavin Newsom was over 24 million, people in his prediction away from how many people he thought would have coronavirus, is still shutting down the state. That's why I was at a protest yesterday till 1 o'clock in the morning. The curfew doesn't apply to me. I'm not a slave. So if that applies to you, we're not the same. And no one here should be a slave. You should be a free citizen of America. You have that right. So resist. But LA County, which I left, is suspending outdoor dining. So now the restaurant industry, in one of the busiest times of the year, can't serve indoors. And even though it's 70 degrees outside and there's no science that says outdoor eating is bad, they can't eat outdoors now. So they're just purposely slaughtering the restaurant industry. And like Bill Cooper said, there's more people in the streets for LeBron James winning the cyber bubble fake NBA season with hologram fans, with halftime shows sponsored by Oculus Rift, the virtual reality company owned by Facebook. That's who's sponsoring a lot of their halftime shows. It's like a sick sci-fi movie. They've replaced you with virtual fans. They've taken over the advertisements. They're pushing virtual reality in the halftime shows, and people don't even care. It's insane. Bill Cooper saw this coming. If only he were alive to see how real the Roman circus really was. I don't even think he could have predicted something this insane. And my message to the people of LA is, business owners, citizens, you got to do what you got to do. That's all I'm going to say. For me, I lived there. I saw this all coming. In March, I actually found a tweet. I'm going to read a tweet real quick. I found it because I went back and I was trying to think, because I'm like, it kind of snuck up on me a little bit, but the first lockdown in America, the first stay-at-home order, was on March 19th, 2020. This is me on Twitter, March 14th, 5 days before the first stay-at-home order. If you followed my page, I told everyone to go grocery shopping. I told everybody they were going to shut down travel. I told everybody that they were going to shut the country down before they shut the country down, probably like 2 weeks before. But this is me 5 days before the first shutdown. I said, they're going to use this to push medical tyranny, fact check true, mandated vaccines. It's coming to a liberal city or a liberal business near you. Government mandated lockdowns. I called the lockdowns before they even locked down. Authoritarian power grabs. I saw what Gavin Newsom and Murphy and Cuomo were going to do. Even bigger speech censorship. I said life will never be the same, and Trump doesn't have a magic plan to save you till the end of time. This is when, and I'm not trying to make an argument, because if you're a patriot, you're a patriot. I don't care what we disagree with. But I'm fighting with a bunch of trust the planners on 5 days before the lockdown. They're telling me 15 days of darkness is coming. Trust the plan. This is all good. We want it to lock down. The white hats are in control. Patriots are in control. And I'm telling people accurately, they're going to use this to push medical tyranny, mandated vaccines, government mandated lockdowns, authoritarian power grabs, even bigger speech censorship, and life will never be the same. That's 5 days before the lockdown. I saw it coming. I don't even want to brag. It got so obvious in March that they were going to do this. It wasn't even funny. But the point I'm trying to get to on a positive note is it's really more psychological than it is legal. A lot of what they're doing is not constitutional. A lot of what they're doing is not legal. They're losing court battles left and right. They're getting their executive orders taken away by courts across California. The sheriffs in many areas are not enforcing it. Why are people going along with it? I don't know what to tell you. You get what I'm saying? I don't know why. I can't tell you why people are doing it. I'll give you an example of what I'm doing on a personal level. And if everybody did something small, this would happen. So I went somewhere to eat yesterday, and I'm eating outdoors. And she says to me, "Do you have a mask? I have a reservation outdoors." I said, "No." And then she said, "Well, if you don't have a mask, I'll give you one. You can't sit down." And I said, "I'm eating outdoors. Like the table's right there outside. I'm not wearing a mask." Politely, but not politely, I said, "I'll fucking eat," and I'm going to curse. Sorry if your kids are watching, put them to sleep. "I'll fucking eat somewhere else if this is a big problem. I'll never shop here again. Like, if you won't let me walk 5 feet, I get maybe you're a teacher, enough of the fucking bullshit, okay? I'm not a slave. If your slave master told their slave master to put you in a mask and put me in a mask, I don't fucking care. Fuck out of my face, or else I hope your business goes bankrupt. If you're that big of an idiot, who cares?" So she gets the manager, and the manager comes out, and the manager says, "It's our policy. You got to wear a mask indoors." And I said, "The table's outdoors. Like, what planet are you on? I'm not going indoors." I was like, "You can't eat indoors. It's not even legal for you to eat indoors. You should be able to, but in general, I'm going outside. Will you let me walk 5 feet to the table?" And she says, "Oh no, that's indoors." I said, "That's outside. That's not indoors." And she goes, "Oh, okay. And you can sit over there." I'm like, what is wrong with these people? So it's like any business at this point. I'm going to quote Ian Smith of New Jersey, who opened his gym the entire time, ate the cost, and like a real man stood up for his gym. You get a pass for the first lockdown, folks. Citizen, business, whatever. You get a pass. A lot of people didn't know what was going on. It's scary. Don't want to die. I don't want to lose my business. You don't get a pass anymore, folks. If you can't figure it out at this person, your business deserves to fail. You deserve to own nothing. If you could stand up for your business or stand up for yourself or not make up new laws on top of the laws because you're like a psycho authoritarian tyrant, then we could save this country. But it's going to come down to, does 50% of the country stand up, right? 50% of the country voted for Trump. And unfortunately, the Trump supporters seem to be the only ones who know what's going on. I've never seen anything like it. Apparently, liberals can't figure this out, or progressive Bernie people can't figure this out. Is it really that political? It's not that political. If George Bush did this or Barack Obama did this, I would feel the same exact way. I'd be like, this is an authoritarian power grab. But somehow Trump supporters are the only ones who understand this. So now we have half the country. But out of that half the country, how many people actually stand up for themselves? 20% are trusting the plan. 15% are waiting for Trump to win the election. 4% are waiting for Sidney Powell. 20% are just cowards. They're anomaly. Don't do that. No, don't say that. Don't do that. Let's just wear the mask. It's like now you have 1% of the population out of the 50% that we have that actually stands up for themselves. And everybody else between scared and waiting and Trump, and no one's doing anything. So we have the numbers. We're just not using them. And it's been this way since March. And the reason I got into stupid arguments on Twitter, I apologize, because I'd rather argue on here where I could talk. But, people are like, we're not all like that. We don't all just trust the plan. I'm like, guys, I know what I experienced in March. I'm not blaming everyone. I'm not blaming the poster. I'm not blaming your friends. I'm just saying the most resistance I got for explaining that the lockdowns are bad and explaining that we should be fighting back in March and in April and in May and exposing the data that Trump wasn't doing and Ted Cruz wasn't doing. To be honest, I'm not bragging, but none of them really did anything. To be quite fair, Elon Musk did a good job on Joe Rogan explaining to people. He broke down how they're counting cases and how it's insane. I did a good job. I don't know that many other people that did any sort of impressive reporting trying to explain to the people how the whole system of numbers was being skewed by deaths and cases and how they're counting. Elon Musk did a better job than Trump did. I'm just going to say it. And I like Trump. So the point I'm getting to is I'm getting not fought by liberals. I expect that. I don't expect liberals at this point. I don't know what world they're living in, but it's clearly not compatible with the one I am, and no disrespect, but I'm not talking to them. I am. If you could listen and be like, I'm a liberal and I understand you, then I'm talking to you. If I'm not, but I'm listening to Trump supporters being like, no, anomaly, you don't understand. The white hats are in control. This lockdown's good. I'm like, you just got brainwashed into supporting a lockdown because you follow an anonymous riddler that you say is a government agent. And I'm the crazy one. And I'm not being mean, but it's like, you're supporting lockdowns. Well, not all of us are. I don't care who's doing it. I don't care what you're doing. Okay. At this point, I don't care what Trump's doing. I don't care what Sidney Powell's doing. I don't care what QAnon's doing. I don't care what Rudy Giuliani's doing. I care what my community's doing. I care what my county's doing. I care what my state's doing. I care what my country's doing. I care what millions of us that actually have numbers are doing. And if you're not in any way, shape, or form, standing up against the lockdown, what are you doing? That's all we have is the numbers. And we can't wait for Trump. Trump cannot save you. Every time I say this stuff, I'm not trying to be mean, folks, but I say this stuff on Twitter. And this is me. This is 5 days before the lockdown. I said that mandated vaccines were coming. I actually called it last year because I saw big pharma starting to go in New York and California. I saw this happening. I called it last year. But in general, everyone, instead of being like, okay, how do we combat it? Or like, okay, I'm not a doomer and a gloomer. It's like, okay, that's coming. How do we combat it? It's actually very easy. People want to fight me on it. They say, well, Trump doesn't want the mandatory vaccine anomaly. Who cares what Trump wants? It doesn't matter. I like Trump. I hope he wins. I think he still has a path to victory. In fact, I know he does. But he couldn't stop the lockdowns. He was hobnobbing with Gavin Newsom and Phil Murphy in April and May. So he wasn't helping me in April and May when it was crunch time. Do I like that he was there instead of Obama or Hillary? Of course, but he can't save you. So why are you fighting me? It's like, well, you don't know anomaly. Don't worry. Trust the plan. Trump's doing the vaccine to not do the vaccine for the secret vaccine with the therapeutic. It's like, who cares about your stupid theories? This is what's happening. This is going to happen unless enough people reject it. It doesn't matter what Trump wants to do. He can't control Uber. He can't control Lyft. He can't control the airlines. He's had no say thus far. I've been in South Dakota. I'm not making this up. I was on an airplane in South Dakota and I watched a woman get pulled off an airlines by the police, black the blue, your police, for not wearing a mask in South Dakota. It's not a law to wear a mask in South Dakota, but guess what? Airlines doesn't care, and again, apparently the police don't care. So it doesn't matter what Trump wants. And I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like, you get what I'm saying? We have 60% of the population. I'm just going to say 60 because I think more than 50% support the president. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's say we have 60% of the population. 20% are trusting the plan. 15% are just have their head so far up Trump's ass, they think that Trump's going to wipe their butt for them and save humanity. He's trying, but you have to be part of the plan. If you just say, well, Trump doesn't want the vaccine, you're going to be bamboozled in a year and wonder why I thought Trump didn't want it. It doesn't matter what Trump wants. He didn't stop Fauci. He didn't stop Bill Gates. He didn't stop the virus. He beefed with China, and then China hit us with this, and he did nothing about it. And now he's a week away from not even being there. So he set us up for failure. Did he help us in many ways? Yeah, not with tech censorship. He had an economic war with China, and then they essentially nuked him, and he did nothing to combat it. So, at this point, we are where we are. I'm not blaming him, but it's like, you have to do something eventually. We have to be the plan. He's not going to stop us from the vaccine. He's not going to save Los Angeles County. He's not going to save California. He's not going to save Texas. He's not going to save Florida. It's going to be the people. Maybe you have a good governor once in a while, like a Ron DeSantis, who will throw you some bones, but we have to demand it. That's all I'm saying. On multiple levels, on a personal level, on a local level, on a county level, on a state level, on a country level, on an organization level, protests in the streets, financial protests, economic protests, digital protests. We need it all, folks. And we're working on it. It's starting. I was at one yesterday, but that's what it's going to be. And Los Angeles County, I'm just going to read this: outdoor dining and indoor dining. If you're in Los Angeles County and you love it and you want to stay there, you got to figure out a solution. If you can't figure out a solution, you got to get out of there. And I don't tell people what to do. First of all, I don't have like the greatest grasp on my life. I'm 31. I'm not like an 80-year-old mage or anything. But in general, people say, what should I do? I'm like, listen, I don't have the answers. I'll tell you what I did. I'll tell you my thought process, but I wasn't born and raised in Los Angeles. If I was born and raised in Los Angeles, maybe I'd feel a certain way. That's my city. I moved there when I was 22, 23, so I don't have as deep of a connection. I like it, but it's not like my family namesake. So I can't tell you how to live your life, but I saw this year and I said, I don't want to be in a liberal city. I moved to a conservative area where people actually open businesses and people actually like their neighbors and people actually fight against the lockdowns. Like I saw this in March, so I got the hell out of there. And I'm glad I got the hell out of there. I don't ever even want to go back to Los Angeles. They're economically come to the Beverly Hills protests. I like Beverly Hills. It's a beautiful place. I don't want to go back to LA. I no offense to the people there. I like the people. I like the business owners. I lived there for 7 years. Trust me, I made thousands of friends. I hate LA. I hate almost everything about it. I hate the politicians. I hate the smog. I hate the filth in the streets. I hate the crime. I hate the tents and the trash everywhere. It's like going to hell. Once you leave there, you'll never want to go back. So if you want to stay, you could stay, fight like hell. But if you don't want to stay, get the fuck out of there. Excuse my language, but it's the best decision I ever made in my life. I never want to go back there. So I feel bad for the businesses in LA, but if you didn't see this coming, now you're stuck, and they're destroying the restaurant industry. And then they're going to go further and further and further. And eventually it's going to spread everywhere, or go further. So if you want to stay in LA, you got to figure out a way to be productive. If you leave, that's fine. You can't run forever, but we have to figure out some way on a country level to combat this, because they have most tech companies and they're trying to form essentially a one world government. And it's very biblical. I mean, when you read Revelations about how everybody would have the mark of the beast, you always hear Christians talk about that. Say what you want, say you don't believe it, whatever. I'm not here to preach religion to you, but what do you think's going on? They're consolidating all the power into a few tech companies, but all the tech companies are friends with each other. So if they're all friends with each other, it's like one company that owns the entire media, and you pretty much have nowhere to go. Maybe Parler, Rumble, but hopefully Dan Bongino doesn't sell that out, or whoever owns it. And I don't think they will. I don't know. But in general, you get what I'm saying? They're consolidating power. They're consolidating power. And it is what it is. I mean, at a certain point, you can only do so much, but I'm going to fight like hell to try to stop that from happening as long as I'm on this earth and I'm in this country, and I appreciate the Constitution and what it was before this year. I just don't understand how it's not 50 million people. If Trump has 80 million voters, why are there not 80 million people in the streets? Why are there not 80 million people rallying behind small businesses? Why is 95% of the patriot community just waiting for this to go away? I don't have all the answers. I'm working on solutions. I have different solutions we'll talk about at the end. But I can tell you this. Ratio on Facebook, ratio on Twitter. Ratio means more bad comments than good comments. I'm not trying to harass people. But any conservative that just has these stupid one-liners for you, that acts confused, that has no call to action, that has no solution, that literally just says some snarky opinion about it, or acts like, well, that's not what the science says. They're killing people. The science is clear. They want to kill businesses. They want to kill the country. They don't care that millions of people will die because of their responses. They don't care that millions of people will get fatter and lose access to healthcare and get more depressed, and there's more child abuse. They're not just killing businesses. They're killing people. So I want to see more of that. People don't have to be as extreme as me, but it's like 95% of conservatives are doing nothing. They're just like, oh, either they're just going to work, think it's going to go. It's not going to go away. If you think it's bad now, read a book from World War II. Read anything. Read a communist book, read a Nazi book, read a fascist book, read a, somebody who broke away book, read a defector book. I don't care. Read any book from World War II. No matter what it is, whether it's right or wrong, you're going to be like, whoa, this was crazy, man. They were killing people. Like, that's what's going to happen. What do you think happens when you lose the freedom to do anything? When they successfully brainwash 100 million people into turning against their own country? And they successfully brainwash the police into doing nothing instead of backing you like you backed the blue. I'm not trying to be a fear monger. Do I seem scared? I'm not scared. You shouldn't be scared, but I'm just saying, like, this is crunch time. I don't know any other way to, like, dumb it down for the people in LA. Like, if you can get 100,000 people in the streets for the Lakers protest, you should have 10 million people in the streets or 5 million people in the streets to save your community and your businesses. If you think you're just going to go to work and I know people have families and jobs, trust me, I get it. It's easier for me to say what I'm saying, but at the same time, I took risks in my life to get to this point. So there's pros and cons to everything. It's easier for me to say stuff. I don't have kids right now. I don't have a huge family, but I took risks to get here. But in general, I wish I could just tell you that if you just wait it out, it's going to go away. I wish that were the truth. And I don't know everything to do, but that's not what's going to happen. The more people wait, the more small businesses are going to die. The more big tech is going to take over. The more power they're going to grab, the more they're never going to give it back. This should have been nipped in the bud in April. Instead, it's November, and we've made no progress on it. There's no signs of really any serious leader combating it in any sort of, hard, meaningful way. So it's got to come from the people. Instead of 1% of the population, it's got to be 5% or 10% or 100% or maybe not 100%, but 50%. But, that's what it's got to be. There's just no other solution. And the way these people are acting, in my opinion, they've done subversion for 30, 40 years to wear people down. And me, like you, and many of us had our real, I'm sure you've known some stuff, but we've really seen it the last 3 years. Why did we really see it the last 3 years? Because it got so obvious in the last 3 years that it's almost impossible to not see it. Like, if you don't see it, I just don't trust you. And I hate to be like one of those people, like, I'm not going to be like a liberal, like, we need to put them in camps. And it's like, dude, calm down, you communist. But like, I'm just saying, like, if you don't see it now, I'm not going to be mean to you. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to bother you. I just don't want to be around you. I got things to do, and you're not going to help me at this point. So that's what it is. But it's like, it got so obvious from 2016 to 2019, but they successfully brainwashed people using Trump. If they like tested it, like, if we can make them do this and we can make them do this. And like, and if you research how some of these intelligence communities work and how, foreign countries work, you can really see, like, it's a lot of mind control. It's a lot of brainwash. If you can control someone's mind, you can control how they vote, what they buy and sell, what they wear. You know, commercials are basically mind control, trying to convince you to buy something. So they spend billions, and they have hundreds of years of research of psychologists, physically, now digitally, figuring out how to brainwash people. Because if you could control how people vote, that's $1 billion industry right there. They spend billions of dollars on the votes, let alone the machines that we're talking about. If they can control how you vote, think about how much billions of trillions of dollars goes into mind control. But the point I'm getting to is they so successfully like demoralized and deteriorated America, where once they got to 2019, we all saw it coming. Men are women, women are men, left is right, right is left, up is down, down is up. You know, abortion, that was like a controversial, in my opinion, legitimate debate to try to figure out from sperm to egg, when does it become a thing? It's kind of confusing. You know, most good people don't know. Now it's like, well, it's mid-birth, you're dilating, and we're just going to kill the baby like when it comes out. Like, that's not normal, folks. That was never part of the abortion debate. Like, most sane, moral people in this country were like, when does it become a human? Now it's like, we know it's a human, but we're going to resuscitate the baby and just kill it. It's like they did so much crazy shit in the last 2 years, and we all saw it. And I think what happened was these people at the high level said, it's not funny. I'm sorry. It's disgusting. But, you know, I got to sometimes try to cope with how sick stuff is. They said, if we can get them to do this and then this and then this and then this, it's over. So this year they threw the whole kitchen sink at everybody because they're like, these people will literally kill a baby after it's born and think that it's woman's control or something, you know? So this year it's like, wear masks, do this, do that. And I'm not trying to scare people, but if they could do this now, guys, they're going to be 100 times crazier in a year. This doesn't get like better unless we make it better. We can make it better. And I'm going to tell you how in a second. But in general, it's like, read about communism. Read about what they did. Like, if these people get power, it's only going to get worse. And I don't think waiting is a smart idea. So now, all right, now that I've told people what I think is very possible, how do we combat it? The first sign that I've seen recently is most of these devils, you hear me just use the word devil and demon now. I didn't used to do that. I actually they don't bother me. I don't know. Maybe I'm lucky. Maybe it just hasn't happened yet, but I'm under the interpretation that they're cowards. They're very cowardly people, and they don't like to be called out. It's like pouring water on a witch. You pour water on a witch and they just melt. You know, you think they're so scary, you pour water and and they just die. So a lot of this stuff, they do it because people let them do it. That's like no one wants to call out the restaurant. I say, fuck you. You're losing my business forever. I'm not being irrational. You're trying to make me wear a mask outdoors. You just bully people because everybody. I'm saying fuck you. And then people say, no, don't say that. No, fuck you. It's fuck you until I get my freedom back. If 1 million people did that, it would have been over yesterday, but no one wants to do it. So I'm the only fucking madman out there screaming at everybody. I'm not even mad. I'm not a mean person. You guys know that, but it's like, it's fuck you until I get my freedom back. There's no in between now. I just want to chill. I can't chill. The communists ruin society. They're stripping joy, Thanksgiving, Christmas, you know, family gatherings. It's fuck you until I get my freedom back. So these things go away when people just stop playing along. You can't blame Bill Gates if 99.9% of patriots are just doing nothing. Like, blame yourself. Like, evil people get away with things when good people just don't do anything. If you look at Antifa, you know, I was at the Huntington Beach protest yesterday. I drove there to support, and, you know, I knew that they were doing an anti-lockdown protest. I wanted to be a part of it. And I remember very clearly during the Antifa, Black Lives Matter, riots, George Floyd, whatever you want to call it, they destroyed, when I was in Los Angeles, they destroyed Los Angeles. They destroyed Hollywood. They destroyed downtown. They destroyed Santa Monica. They destroyed Beverly Hills. They incinerated West Hollywood. And then they went to Huntington Beach because they said, that's where the Nazis are. That's where the white people are. And then they got kicked out. The police stopped them. A bunch of bodybuilders, MMA fighters, and patriots stood behind the police and said, you're not from here. You're not coming to Main Street. And guess what happened? They went the fuck home and they never came back. So there's a moral to the story. They do what they're allowed to do. Why do you think conservatives and Second Amendment gun owners, why do they always talk about gun-free zones? Because when you look at a lot of these school shootings and a lot of these bad things, they're always in a gun-free zone. Do you know what a gun-free zone does? It takes the gun out of the good guys' hands, and then the bad people know there's a school and there's no one there to stop me. It's the same with everything in society. Criminals are cowards. Who steals from an elderly lady? A coward. Who punches elderly women in the face? You think I would punch an elderly communist woman in the face? Of course not. I don't care how much you love Bernie Sanders or AOC. I would never touch an elderly woman. I would never touch an elderly guy walking in the street supporting a candidate I didn't like, no matter how bad I thought that. I would never treat someone like that in a million years. You know who punches a Trump supporter, old man in the face? A coward. They pick on weakness, okay? And when you're old, you can't help being weaker than you were when you were young. But they don't want to fight the Proud Boys, or actual patriots that are jacked and stuff. They want to beat the crap out of elderly people and scare children because they're cowards. So there's a really simple solution on a basic human scale is don't be a coward and they'll go away. If your community is not cowardly, these terrorist groups don't come there. They terrorize Portland. You know why? Because Ted Wheeler is a coward. That guy is such a pathetic string bean coward loser, devil, pathetic cuck, for lack of a better word. Since I'm cursing so much today, I'm just going to say it. They beat the crap out of Portland because they have a pathetic coward as a governor or whatever he is, a mayor. So they could burn police precincts, they could burn federal buildings, and Mayor Stringbean says, I support you. And then they shine lasers in his eye, try to blind him. They throw tools at his feet. They curse at him. They throw stuff at him. They throw liquid at him. They throw stuff at him when he slams the door. And pathetic cuck demon boy says, I still support you. Because he's a coward. That's why they do that in Portland, because the entire government is filled with cowards. If there were real men in government, or the police were allowed to do their job, or anytime there's some sort of conflict, although I think I don't wish on it. It's like they get scared. They terrorize LA because the government is cowards. They terrorize New York City because the government is cowards. And there's a lot of good people there. I mean, they terrorize Black and Hispanic neighborhoods, and a lot of the families are scared, so they just stand aside. They're cowards. So they don't go to Texas. How come they don't do that in the conservative areas of Texas? How come they don't burn a church down in Texas? Because they'd get their head blown off. So they don't do it. So the first simple step on a human level is don't allow it. You can't blame the elites. You can't blame Gavin Newsom. Why are you listening? If you live in Orange County, or I think it's Riverside County, Ventura County, I'm not sure, the more conservative counties, the sheriffs are not enforcing the order. Why are you listening? Why are you closing your business? Why wouldn't you open up? Who cares? No one's going to stop you. The mayor's on your side in most areas. The sheriffs are on your side. Some areas they're not, but some areas they are. Why are you listening? Oh, my business is losing 75% capacity. Why are you listening? Why are you letting them take away everything that your family worked for? Don't listen. Ian Smith, he's been fighting for 8 months. He's one guy. He's the only one. Shelley Luther, there's a few others. If there were 1 million or 500 or even 50 Ian Smiths in New Jersey with the gym open, guess what? Guess what Phil Murphy has to do? Excuse my language. He has to go fuck himself, because he's not going to be able to enforce 110,000 fines and police. And eventually the police are going to say, fuck you too. When enough people get on board, it's fuck you until our freedom's back. So you get what I'm saying? It's like you leave him sticking out like a sore thumb. Now he has to get $100,000 in fines, and he still doesn't give a fuck because he's an actual man. Why are there not 100 of him? Why are there not 1,000 of him? Why are there not 10,000 of him? If there were 10,000 or 100,000 of him out of 10 million businesses, which is not even 10%. That's all it takes. This is not Bill Gates' fault. This is not Fauci's fault. This is our fault for letting it happen. I don't understand how people are letting it happen. I just don't get it. I really don't. I know that people think that it's a good idea to wait, but I'm just letting you know, I'm not going to play stupid and act like I don't know what's going on. Whoa, if you did this, then why do we do that? I mean, I'm going to make my videos and break down the hypocrisy, but I know what they're doing. I don't have 2 years to get a Fox News contract and, just act shocked all the time. It's like, this is what they're doing. Let's stop it. Every Fox News host should say, they're trying to kill your business. They're killing millions of people across the world. Show those statistics. Show how 400,000 people are dying from tuberculosis in excess because of all the medical diverted. Show the millions of people who lost their jobs. Show the thousands of nurses who got laid off because they closed down businesses. Show the hundreds of thousands of people who missed cancer screenings and many people who died off that because they couldn't get into the hospital because of COVID. Show the statistics from that. Show how Gavin Newsom said that 25 million people were going to have it by May, and now it's November, and only 1 million people. Show it, or you're my enemy now, okay? I'm just going to say it. Show people the truth. Show people the real data. I did it in March. I did it in April. Maybe you're a little slower. Maybe you could watch my videos and figure it out. If you can't, you're my enemy now because it's November, okay? No more playing around. No more bullshit. I'm tired of the deception. Even some of my favorite news hosts from Fox News, the local guy from LA, I love the guy. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a really nice guy with a really nice heart, but he's like, I feel bad for business owners because, so many people are going to parties and stuff and their business. Fuck you, bro. Fuck you. It's not because people are going to parties. It's not because people are going to gatherings. It's not because people are protesting. It's because the government is destroying those businesses, you idiot. So it's like, I don't care how conservative you say you are. I don't care if you work for Fox News. I don't care if you have an Emmy. Wake the fuck up. Stop pushing propaganda. I'm working on, maybe I make more than him because he's local, but in general, I'm working on 1/30th of a salary that you guys have. You guys got 50 people on your staff. Watch one of my videos and use 1/10 of the information I have. It's all public knowledge. This is not economy versus health. That's a fucking lie. This is not, we're destroying things because of the lockdown. That's a lie. Hundreds of thousands of people dying in excess deaths of tuberculosis. Washington Post saying that hundreds of millions of people can die because of starvation, because of obviously. What do you think is going on these islands? Okay. They are wiping out poor people all across this world. They're going to kill millions of poor people. Okay. When I visited Alaska, places like Icy Strait Point, they get a cruise boat a day and their entire economy is based off of tourism. That's dead. Those people are forever going to be more impoverished, less healthy. You're killing them. You're killing their country. You're killing their state. You're killing their business. You're killing their town. What do you think's happening on Curacao? What do you think's happening on Bahamas? What do you think's happening in Dominican Republic? What do you think's going on in these areas that work off of tourism? You're slapping them into poverty as Amazon is growing. Okay, this is not. I'm tired of. I expect this from the liberals. I'm tired of like 95% of conservatives not getting the data. I've had it since April. Watch my videos got like 10 million views before they not shut it down, but messed with it. Like I got 3,000 people in here on Facebook, which is great. I mean, that's a lot. I had 10,000 people a couple months ago live, but it doesn't matter. But I'm not mad about the stats. I'm mad that people are not getting this information because I have a video in April explaining how they're counting deaths. I have a video in May showing how they're counting cases. It's so clear. And I see no one doing this information. And it's not like my information. Steal it. Steal everything in my video. Make your own video. Put it on Fox News. Tell everybody you made it. Get an Emmy. I don't care. Just take the information. It's so clear. People I don't trust Elon. A lot of people here don't like Elon Musk because he's a little sneaky with the space stuff. And in general, he's just like planting chips in people's brains. I get it. I understand why people don't trust Elon Musk, but I have to give credit where it's due. He's the only person I saw actually explain to people in March and April that this is a bullshit plan to stop coronavirus. Why is Elon Musk, Mr. Bad Billionaire guy, going on Joe Rogan, the biggest podcast, telling everybody he actually responded to one of my tweets. I've never talked to him. He doesn't follow me. He just must have saw in his feed from someone we mutually follow or something. And he said, they're counting all deaths as a COVID death. If someone dies with COVID, they're saying he died from COVID. And he said it would be very helpful to understand the difference. And the tweet blew up. And then he went on Joe Rogan and told 100 million people what I was talking about the whole time. Say what you want about Elon. Say what you want about his brain chip thing. He did more than 99.999% of Republicans. And it's not that hard. Watch my CDC exposed video, how they're counting cases. It's mind-blowing, but it's so simple. You know, this next video I'm going to work on now, I'm not going to stay all night. Then I'm going to answer some questions and go after like 30 minutes. I'm editing a video. It's going to be, I always say it's my best video. It's my best video. I'm just always trying to up one up. I did the communism video. I'm only dropping hits at this point. It's like the Beatles. Okay. I don't have time for bad videos when it's crunch time for my country, but this next video is probably going to be my best video. I'm exposing all of it, all the bullshit, all the lies, everything. I'm going to throw it all out there, and I'm going to call them devils the entire time. You're going to enjoy it quite thoroughly. I'm not going to curse. You could show it to your kids, but I'm going to call them devils because that's what they are. So once this video is done and that information's there, all I ask, and then we're going to get to solutions, and then we're going to answer some questions. All I ask is send it to, and it's not for me. I don't need any more attention. Get that information to people in front of Charlie Kirk's face, in front of Dan Bongino's face. And I'm not blaming Dan. I know he's got health problems. He's a patriot. He made Rumble. He's crushing it. You know, Dan, I'll give Dan a pass because he's done enough. But all these other Republicans, they're not fucking doing anything. It's like, get this in front of their face and be like, stop acting stupid. We have the information. We have the numbers, okay? We have 100 million patriots. When it goes to the world, people love Trump. The best people across the world, Africans, South America, real people, the strong people, they like the president. We have humanity on our side. We have the numbers, okay? We're not 1% of the population. We're like 60% of the population. We have, at minimum, how many votes did he get? 70 million people at minimum. So what are we waiting for? You get what I'm saying? Get this information to people because I'm tired of them acting stupid. This info's everywhere. And I know that they know who I am. And they just hire 50 million people. They're like, let's hire everybody but Anomaly. I'm not crying like I want to get a job. I don't need a job. I'm just saying it's like you get all these people saying all nothing. It's like you've never seen you never seen the CDC video that has 10 million views. Of course you did. So what, are you just don't want to? And it's not like they need to do my video. I'm just saying like just say the information. Elon Musk said it. I said it. I just showed like what are you waiting for? It's November. I'm so tired of these people. And once again, I'm gonna read some comments. It's fuck you if you get in my way trying to restore my freedom at this point. Not you personally. I love you guys, but I have no tolerance for anybody trying to stop me. I have no tolerance for anybody just saying, well, let's just wait it out. Just slow. It's not going anywhere. It's flu season. Oh, let's check back in 3 weeks. You think in December? Oh, it's December 15th and the coronavirus disappeared. You can have your outdoor dining back. That's not how it's never, ever going to work that way. They're manipulating numbers using third grade math and media propaganda to brainwash people who are like 50 years old with third grade math. It's like, figure out how they're counting deaths, figure out how they're counting cases, figure out their false predictions, then look how they manipulate to say, well, now we're the purple zone with the tiers and they're just using percentages out of context. So, oh, it's 3 weeks. It's not 3 weeks, guys. Do you know what the chance is that the coronavirus is going to be lower in December? Has the flu ever been lower in December than it's been in November? Probably never. So the chances of you getting your restaurants back in LA County in December is close to zero, because if you follow the flu since 1950, I'm not sure that it goes down in the winter. In fact, I'm almost positive that it doesn't go down in the winter. That's why they call it flu season. It's crazy stuff. And I'm just going to say one more thing, then we will get to solutions and comments. I'm not trying to act that special. I'm not that special, but I argued with a lot of you, not you. You get it. You maybe get it. Maybe you didn't get it. I don't know. I don't know who's here. We got like 4,000 people, but all year, if you guys watched me, you remember people said, Anomaly, this is going to end after the election. I said, no, it's not. Anomaly, this is all gone after the election. I said, no, it's not. Anomaly, you don't, because your whole life is Trump. And I love Trump. I have Trump ice. My ice is Trump. It's got Trump faces on it. I have a Trump ice mold. And when I use ice, it's Trump's face on it. So I'm not making fun of you for loving Trump. I like Trump. I made a song called I Like Trump, and I have Trump ice makers, and I had an Adam Schiff shirt on from the Trump store. But it's like when your whole world is Trump, I'm like, it's not there. There's more to the picture. Trump is doing what he can. Sidney Powell's doing what she can, but it's not over after Trump. It's big. It's even bigger than Trump. Like, yes, they're using it to try to stop Trump, but it's 20,000 times as big as even the election, although that's a cornerstone in it. And everyone's like, no, normally it's all going to go disappear after the election. No, you don't get it. It's never. Why would it disappear in November? They want the great reset now, folks. They probably are going to drag this out for years. They might do a little bait and switch where it's like, oh, Biden made the economy good. Oh, wow, Biden's economy. Okay, turn it back off. Okay, Biden's economy. Okay, cyber hack. All the power goes out for 3 weeks. You wake up, you own nothing. Okay, now we're back. Biden's the king. There might be little bait and switches where they turn it on and off, but this was never going away. And I said this all year, and I'm not trying to act like I know everything. I don't. I'm just saying this was, to me, it's like the amount of people that were trying to argue with me and just say, anomaly, this is all gone after the election. I'm like, this is not going anywhere. And that's the part that concerns me is people think it's going away after the election. If you think it's going away after the election, you don't want to do anything to stop it because you think someone's else going to do it. If you think QAnon's going to save you and Sidney Powell's going to save you, Sidney Powell's going to do what she can. Rudy Giuliani's going to do it, but they can't save you. If it's always this game in your head, Trump's going to wipe my butt. It's all gone after the election. The Kraken's coming. We're going to get it. They're going to do what they can to try to win back this election. That's what they're doing. They're not wiping your butt when you go to sleep at night. If you poop your pants, Sidney Powell's not going to change your diaper. QAnon's not going to rub your nose when you got a stuffy nose, okay? You're going to have to do something yourself. They're not saving you from this lockdown. Trump is not saving you. Q is not saving you. Sidney Powell's not saving you. None of them have a plan for this lockdown. None of them even had any sort of mobilization plan. They just told you to wait because it was coming soon and after the election. And it's just a waiting game. It's like 8 months into communism. It's like, oh, maybe one day the white hats are coming soon. They're not coming, folks. They're going to do their job, but you have a job to do too. It's like, I'm like, why does it smell so bad in here? You're like, well, I haven't wiped my butt in 8 months. I'm like, well, why wouldn't you wipe your butt? You're like, well, Q said to trust the plan. I'm like, you can trust his plan without thinking that it's like everything ever in your life. Like, wipe your own butt. It's disgusting. You smell horrible. It's like, it's a team effort. We have Michael Jordan on our team. Yeah, but you still got to play. You still got to get on the floor. Oh, no, we're just going to sit on the floor and lay down and do snow angels and trust the plan. It's like, no, you still have to play. Dennis Rodman has to rebound. Steve Kerr has to shoot sometimes. He's not going to have 100 points, but he's going to have 3 points. You got to do something. No, we're just going to dance on the sideline. Yeah, well, then Michael Jordan's going to get blown out by 100, okay? You have to do something. So, all right. Danny Flowers said Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker got money from Pfizer. Now there's a flu shot mandate for all students. That's how they're going to do it. And I called this last year, but in general, universities, certain hospitals, certain airlines, certain Ticketmaster, certain Uber, certain Lyft, certain this, certain that, certain jobs, certain travel, that's how they're going to do the mandated vaccine. And I'm not trying to act like I know everything. I'm not trying to argue with the people who like me because, to be honest, not everyone likes me. And if you're here, you like me. So I don't want to argue with the very few people that actually like me. But in general, it's like the amount of people that are like, normally Trump doesn't want the mandated vaccine. It doesn't matter. It never mattered what Trump wanted. Who cares? Like your whole, once again, I have Trump ice cubes. Okay. I'm no one to speak, but it's not all about Trump. And I have ice cubes with his face on it, but it's like, it doesn't matter that he doesn't want vaccines. He doesn't have that much power and he's not going to save you and he's not going to stop it. So if your idea of doing something is waiting for Trump to do it, you're going to end up in a communist society. So it's wake up time, folks. Now for solutions. I have exposedlockdowns.com. What I'm doing with my next video, just wait till tomorrow. If you're on not wait, you can do whatever you want, but trust the plan. Wait till tomorrow. No, but you get what I'm saying. When it comes out tomorrow, check my Facebook page manually because they probably won't put it in your feed. They're trying to kneecap my reach. So you're going to have to look manually or look on YouTube or Instagram. But I'm going to use my packet in the video and just expose everything that's going on. And then at that point, I'm going to update exposed lockdowns as I got new information. I understand the packet can only go so far. I'm going to add links to that website that will take you, if you own a business, I don't have it on me, but there's a website that you could look at constitutional rights and you can actually post it and put it on your business. So if you have a business, I'll figure out ways to learn your rights. Once I get my medical mask exemption, I'm going to get that. I'm going to have a website for lawyers. So there's going to be layers to how we could fight back against the lockdowns. I can't do it all. You can't do it all. But what we can do on a personal level, we can fight the system. On a legal level, we can fight the system. And once again, everyone can't do everything, but maybe you could do one or two of these things, or I don't know, one of 10 things. But on a business level, I'll give you resources so you know your constitutional rights, so you don't allow them to bully you, because the police will try to bully you. The governor will try to bully you. But if you know your rights, there's ways out of it, and I'm learning them, and I'll post them on exposedlockdowns.com over the next week. I'll give you resources to fight it business-wise, legally, et cetera, et cetera. And then also just keep your eyes open for protests and rally in your community, whatever you can do to, turn the tide. It's going to be tough, but I know Huntington Beach is protesting. San Diego is protesting. I believe San Clemente was protesting. I believe people were outside Gavin Newsom's house protesting. I believe that they're going to grow. And I'm quite confident that the Stop the Steal protests, as I kind of called for and was hoping, the Stop the Steal protests on the election are going to turn into anti-lockdown protests. So as soon as, Trump figures out his election situation, we have very high hopes, but we'll see what happens. When all that gets settled, those millions of people stopping the steal will probably turn into millions of people protesting the lockdowns. And we're passionate. We're mobilized. We're not backing down. We're not afraid. And, we have numbers. So we're going to use them. So that's what it is, folks. We're going to win this, but that's what it's going to take. And to everybody in LA, I'm so sorry that Eric Garcetti is destroying the restaurant industry. Every restaurant owner, I used to live in Hollywood for years. I also lived in Beverly Hills for a year when I first moved out there. For music. And then I lived in Filipino Town in Los Angeles, which is near Silver Lake Echo Park. It's like a more Hispanic area outside of Echo Park. I played soccer out there. I lived there for 7 years. I love it. I know so many businesses, Mexican shops, Korean shops, Thai spots. There's thousands of good business owners. You guys got to fight back somehow. I don't know how, but this is ridiculous. Every business owner, every restaurant in Los Angeles should be furious. And I don't like to use anger because I don't think anger is a good thing, but you should be very upset or annoyed and at bare minimum, very passionate about getting your stuff back, because they're trying to kill your business. There's no real other way around it. The science does not allow this. This is not scientific. This is strictly communist. This is strictly authoritarian. This is strictly tyrannical. And I saw Phil Murphy eating and someone yelled at him. And then a bunch of conservatives were like, that's so mean. You're yelling at him when he's with his family. I'm like, conservatives disgust me. And not all conservatives, obviously 99% of you guys are fine, but I'm not disgusted by you. I'm disgusted by the cowardice of some of these conservatives, where it's like, listen, you should never harass somebody with their family, over politics. But when this guy's shutting down thousands of businesses, he's bankrupted thousands of restaurants. He's destroyed millions of lives. He's ruined millions of jobs. He's forever changed the landscape of New Jersey. He's got the worst deaths per capita in the country. If compared to the world, if New Jersey was a state, deaths per capita, they'd be the worst in the world by far, almost times two. In every metric, it's disgraceful. So at a certain point, instead of being like the McCain or Mitt Romney, oh, that's so disgraceful, it's fuck you until our freedom's back. I can't imagine showing my face if I did something to the people like that. And then people are like, well, normally they're doing that in Texas too. Well, it's fuck them too. If I did it in Texas, if I did it in New Jersey or New York or California, I could do it if I was like a communist or an authoritarian or a Democrat, but I wouldn't dare show my face at a restaurant. Are you kidding me? So it's like conservatives are more concerned about being politically correct than they are about saying fuck you until my freedom's back. This is not an average year. It's like, oh, I disagree about welfare. Oh, it's illegal immigration. Oh, no, they're destroying thousands of businesses, not randomly. It's like, my friends are going to make millions of dollars. My friends are going to make billions of dollars. Your business is going to die, and there's nothing you can do about it. And if you try to open your business, I'm going to fine you $100,000. It's fuck you until our freedom's back. So any of these cowardly conservatives in the, oh, don't do that to him when he's out. Oh my God, that's so wrong. Oh my goodness. Fuck you too. Okay. I'm so tired of these people. This is why we lose. Because instead of having that passion against the lockdown, you have that passion against people with passion against the lockdown. So it's like, you're the enemy now. Okay. I'm just going to say it. It's like, you're not only not fighting the lockdown, you're fighting people fighting the lockdown and telling the demons and the authoritarians in charge peacefully and non-violently, they have the right to say, fuck you. They didn't lay a finger on them. They didn't do anything illegal. They saw the tyrant who's destroying the state, and they rightfully said, fuck you. So if you don't want them to say fuck you, it's fuck you too. Excuse my language, but it's fuck you until our freedom's back. And any conservative in my way, it's fuck you too. So tired. Well, Mitt Romney, well, fuck you and fuck him too. It's like, come on, dude. You're a grown conservative man, 8 months into communism, and your main concern is protecting the worst governor in the country, you know, from getting talked to in public. Fuck you. Excuse me. Willie said, greetings from Sweden. What's up, Willie from Sweden? The only reason we haven't had lockdowns is because of our constitution. Specifically, Allmännastraten, translated to every man's right. If the politicians would close our country down, they would. Trust me. Well, Willie, God bless you. We have a constitution too, Willie. Thank you so much for Sweden. We have a constitution, but we don't even abide by it. Where's the Supreme Court, folks? Where's Amy Coney Barrett? Where's Sam Alito? Where's Clarence Thomas? Where have these people been all year? It's been 8 years. We're supposed to have the best constitution. We're getting out constitution by Sweden. God bless our brother Willie from Sweden. But this is America. We're supposed to have the best constitution in the world, and we're getting out constitution by Sweden. No offense to you, but what are we doing, folks? I'm shocked. I just wanted to, and then I'm going to read more comments. I just wanted to chill on a beach. You know me, can't bother me. I never talked about anybody. Just wanted to be left alone. I still am nice, but in general, it's like, I'm not starting drama. I don't care. Just leave me alone. Let me go on a cruise. Let me hang out with my family. Let me just chill on a beach somewhere, and let me work my ass off 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week. And then I take a break when I want to relax. Just let me live my life like that. Save a little money. I'm good. I don't need a lot. That's all I asked for. This year, the communists said, you can't do that. You can't go to the beach. You can't go to the park. You can't go outside. You can't go to the gym. You can't go on a cruise. You can't go fly. You can't not wear a mask. You can't see their face. You can't see their smile. It's fuck the communists until my freedom is back. I have no tolerance for this. There's no time anymore. I tried to chill. They wouldn't let me chill. It's fuck you till my freedom's back. All right, let's read some comments. God bless you guys. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. Video tomorrow, no curses in it. It's for the children. It's going to be out in the morning. Hopefully, I'll be editing all night. Jessica, she said, I live in Los Angeles and I'm ready to stand up. Who's with me? God bless Jessica. Talk to some business owners. Talk to some restaurants. I can't believe that, the restaurants are putting up with this. It's insane. Clarita said, I don't have a small biz in New York City. Cuomo and de Blasio. I write to Cuomo and de Blasio all the time. I know this. I'm alone here. What else can I do? Yeah, I mean, definitely it's tough because Facebook destroys anybody who talks about the lockdown. So any sort of organic anti-lockdown group they've done stuff about. But yeah, I would try to connect with people, I don't know, conservatives or, anti-lockdown people. I'm not sure how, because I'm not that great at Facebook. I'm good at my page, but as far as like my personal page, I don't use it that much. Like I'm not into like events and groups that much. So I'm not sure where to find these people, but I'm sure if you look hard enough, you could find, someone. Like I found a protest in Huntington Beach yesterday, and I found one in San Diego, and they did something in Washington D.C. I'm sure there's going to be something in New York sometime. So just keep your eyes peeled. Yeah, I don't know exactly what, but it is frustrating. I understand. This guy's name is Fart Sausage, dude. That's just a disrespectful name. I almost don't want to read the comment because it's just a disgusting name. He said, if we know that they cheated and we know that the republic will be destroyed, is it okay to physically start fighting them? Well, I'm not going to say that because I'm not going to have a call to violence. But in general, I would just keep your eyes on the legal process, like Sidney Powell, Rudy Giuliani. This is not over. They're working on it. So I would say, no, just wait to see what happens to them. Not like as far as the lockdowns, I think people should be peacefully protesting on every level, but there's probably better ways to accomplish that. But yeah, I mean, just keep your eyes on what they're doing. As far as the election, it's not, if it was like a month from now and it was over, there'd be another conversation, but it's not over yet. So just see this week is going to be a big week for that. Kalina said, thanks for all you do. Please put your channel on Odyssey. I'll think about it. I'm going to try to get on Rumble, I think. Rumble seems pretty promising. All right, I'll read some Facebook ones. Erica said, the government should be doing what we need them to do, not the other way around. I mean, when I saw the video of Phil Murphy eating, listen, God bless him and his family. It's all love for me, but like, that's a bold move. After what you did to after all these businesses that hate you because you literally destroyed them in a manner that is not even going to stop or slow the spread, it's a bold move to show your face and just sit in public like that. Like, it's one thing if you're just a semi, popular governor. It's another thing if you're literally the most authoritarian leader that we've had in this country between you, Cuomo, and Newsom, and de Blasio, and all these Democrats. Like, this is the most authoritarian power grab we've seen since World War II in any country. And, I mean, it's equivalent to like the craziest countries over the last 30, 40 years. And they're just acting like nothing happened. That's a bold move. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't understand how they get away with it. I don't understand how more people are not, in some way not allowing this. Inslee too. Yeah, that guy's a piece of trash. Tino Sanchez, this is a good comment. He said, if you're a lefty and you fight, you get celebrities bailing you out of jail. If you're on the right and you fight, you go to jail. Be careful. Exactly. No, I hear you. It's, you definitely want to be within the law, but also you want to be smart, because even I'll say this off that comment. Like, I was trying to explain today on Twitter, and I was like, let me just wait for my live stream, because when I speak, it's easier to understand. There's tone, context. I make a joke, everyone laughs. I make a joke on Twitter. Half the people hate me. They say I said something about their mom, or my husband and I like you. And I'm like, what did I just do? But in general, like, there's certain things that are true. There's certain things that are false. You want to be strong, but I feel like people are they lack discernment. Where like there's certain little traps. Like, they want you to do that. If you do that, they're going to frame you. They're going to make you look crazy. They're going to throw you in jail, and then it's over. And then it's like, what did you accomplish? So it's like certain movements are like that too, like the watermarked ballot thing. There's a lot of things going on. These secret watermarked ballots, like that was the biggest story of 2 weeks ago, a week ago. Everyone wanted to talk about how there was a secret sting operation. I can almost guarantee that's never going to happen. It's never going to come to fruition. That's not the case that Sidney Powell's building. That's not the case that Rudy Giuliani's building. Lynn Wood is not building that case. None of these lawyers, they have a case, but that's not the case. The point I'm getting to is there's something weird about, there's a million things to choose from. And then even the truther side always falls for like the fake theory. It's like, I don't know who's doing this diversion, if it's purposeful, but you have to understand, in any group, there's always going to be good actors and bad actors. Okay. And it's going to be hard to probably figure out who's who, but I feel like they know the QAnoners are looking for certain things. They know the Trump supporters want certain outcomes. They know conservatives have a good heart and they want good things to happen. So a lot of these bad actors manipulate you and will throw out this theory that you really want to be true. And then everybody runs to that theory. And then we waste 3 weeks. We don't accomplish anything. And then we're back to square one. I've seen that happen like 20 times this year, literally. Like a lot of my friends are always like, it's not me, but I've watched them post fake theory. Every week it's this new thing where it's like, there's so much going on. There's lockdowns. There's this, there's that. This is not 1998. This reminds me of people say, Anomaly, what do you think about the Illuminati? What do you think about the New World Order? These words don't even mean anything to me anymore. Those are like words that you'd use. And I know the Illuminati. I understand the history and the context of it. But like, that's a word I used to use in 2007 when I couldn't figure out who was who. The Rothschilds, the Bilderbergs, who's who, the Illuminati. Like, I don't even need to use that word. Like, yeah, I know the New World Order, but like, who's who? This is not like a secret anymore. They don't meet in secret. They broadcast their plans on YouTube. So I understand it's a label. I'm just saying we don't have to play this game of like falling for fake theories every week, always falling for the wrong trap. They're always running us to like, there's no need to do that, because it's not like Alex Jones posted a Bohemian Grove video. That's all we have for 5 years. We're like, whoa, that guy went to Bohemian Grove. That's revolutionary. Guys, they're broadcasting their plans on YouTube. We have 10,000 things that they're doing to choose from and to hone in on and to be effective about and to be, convincing about. But instead, I feel like so many people are constantly just getting worked around, falling for things that don't even make sense. And then it's like, as soon as they realize it's not true, they just hop to the next thing that sounds like the best. If I tell you, this is how we beat the lockdowns, this is the case they're building, it's cool, but it's not as cool as what if we didn't have to fight? What if we didn't have to work hard? What if there's someone's going to wipe my butt and they already had it? The deep state or the good guys, the white hats, already planted secret watermark ballots, and they got them and they caught them in their tracks. And any day, John Podesta is going to Guantanamo. It's like, that's what you want to hear, because of course you don't want to hear the lockdowns are bad, let's end them. It's like, oh, the lockdowns are good and the watermarks happen. Like, that never happened. But like, you get what I'm saying? They prey off of people's want for something good to happen. So they feed you. To me, it's very similar to like what the right says about Bernie Sanders. They say, Bernie Sanders is like I call him like the candy guy when you're a kid, and they're like, do you want free candy in the van? Like, he's that weird, creepy guy. But it's like, he's selling people a free lunch. That's what the right says. He's giving you all the things you want, and then you fall for Bernie. To me, that's the same thing with the trust the plan type people. They fall for and not everybody. There's some people who don't, but like any theory that sounds better than the normal theory, you'll fall for. Like, lockdowns are bad. It's a secret World Health Organization thing. No, I don't want to believe that, because lockdowns are good, because 10 Days of Darkness, an anonymous riddler that I think is a government agent, posted it in me. And now I'm a libertarian who used to hate the government, but now I secretly love the government. I think the government's going to wipe my butt. It's like, does that make sense to anybody that's not brainwashed? It doesn't. It hurt people's feelings when I say that, but it's like, I showed you the quote of Bill Cooper 40 years ago. He wrote a book called Behold a Pale Horse that talks about what happens during a national emergency 30 years ago. And he warned people, when a national emergency hits, that's the power grab. That they planned it. That's what they're going to do. It happened. And this year, instead of believing someone like Bill Cooper, who warned you that this was not good 30 years ago, you think because someone told you 2 years ago, oh, well, he had insight 2 years ago. Bill Cooper had insight 30 years ago, but you don't treat him like a secret wizard because he doesn't post riddles for you. It's like, well, he told me that the lockdown's the darkness and it's the good thing. It's like, well, then he lied to you. I don't know what to tell you. Well, General Flynn believes in him. Who cares? Like, okay, Mike Pompeo believes in Donald Trump, but they also passed anti-Semitism speech bills and have been ineffective against communism for 8 months. So I don't know what to tell you. I like certain things that they do, but it's like, you got to do more to blow my mind. It's like, well, there's a government agent that agrees with them. Whoa, now I trust the government now. It's like, this doesn't make any sense. It's all like a nonstop, just jumping people around. Stick to what's going on, stick to what's real, and do something about it. Someone said that book was blocked from prisons. Bill Cooper's a wild boy. I bet they did block it in prison. Charles said, I will die a free American, not too soon if I'm defending liberty and freedom. They've crossed the line. My children's future is too important. God bless you. I hear you. Now they say they don't want us to socialize even with a negative test results. Evil, said the raw truth. That's all I'm trying to say, folks. I like Trump. I think Sidney Powell has been a great lawyer her whole life, but they're not coming to save us. This is a nonstop game. It's not ending until we end it. So yeah, first it was this, then it was this, then it was this. Of course, as soon as the vaccine comes, it's not about the vaccine. As soon as this comes, we still have to social distance. They're biding their time, manipulating data to say things that it doesn't really say to kill this country. That's what's happening. Trump can't stop it. Sidney Powell can't stop it. Lynn Wood can't stop it. They can work really hard, and I hope that they do, and I hope that they're a big part in the American Revolution. I think that they are, but you have to embrace this. Like, if we would have nipped this in the bud in May, it wouldn't have got to this point. This was like a social experiment, and they successfully brainwashed a large portion of the population, whether people want to admit it or not. They brainwashed the left. I hate to be mean, but like, is any part of the left against the lockdowns? Is there any faction, from the Bernie faction to the Obama faction to the Democrat voter? Like, if you're a Democrat, you're no offense, but like, you lost. Like, you don't even, think this is suspicious at all. You're like pro mask mandates. So they've successfully wiped out 50% of the population's brains. Now you have libertarians and conservatives. And the biggest theory in the libertarian conservative movement is trust the plan. Just wait for the government to save you because a secret government agent told you riddles on a message board. And I told people this in March. I'm like, a lot of what they say is true. It's like truth, 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 truth. Wait and trust government agents. I was like, I no offense to the government, but like, no, I don't trust Barr. I don't trust Sessions. I don't trust Durham. They didn't do anything. They never were going to do anything. I told people this in March. They cried and said it was coming in April. They said it was in Easter. Then they said, well, he doesn't have a timeline. Oh, what a convenient theory that has no timeline. So we might as well just call it Jesus Christ, right? Well, we don't know when the end times are, but they're coming sometime. Yeah, of course, that's biblical. But now you're affiliating that with a message board. Anything that ever happens is his fault. Unless he doesn't do it, then it's trust the disinfo is necessary. It's like a mind control brainwash scheme to get patriots and libertarians and conservatives to just wait forever. You get what I'm saying? They brainwash the left. They brainwash Trump supporters into waiting for Trump. They brainwash you into waiting for government agents to save you. And now you have 20% of the population that knows what's going on. And out of that 20%, maybe 1% at most is actually willing to stand up about it. That's why we lost this year, folks. I mean, we get an F- for this year. Like this, we the people did terribly this year. We could turn it around. I think the protests, and now we got lawyers, Sidney Powell and Lynn Wood are really like filing some lawsuits. This is all good. Now we're surging back in the right direction of doing something about it. But this year was not impressive. Yeah, F- for humanity. And I love humanity. It's like I used to get Fs on tests all the time. I like myself, but yeah, I just didn't do good. All right. Let's see. Joanne said, patriots are never brainwashed. They shed their blood for our freedom, and we must honor them. I mean, I don't know that I agree with you. I mean, I appreciate all patriots, okay, on any level, whether we agree or disagree, or you make mistakes or I make mistakes. I appreciate all patriots, but I don't think that that's true. I think people are so emotional when I say this stuff that they don't want to believe that they got lied to. Like, people can lie, they can make up stories, they could say it's not me, no one did this, but trust me, I have messages. I got reached out to by thousands of people this year. Thousands of people thought that they'd get arrested on Easter. Thousands of people thought the lockdown was a good thing. They called themselves patriots. I think they're good people, but they got brainwashed. I don't know what you want me to say. Like, if Obama and Hillary Clinton are running the government, I love our military. I really respect our military. I think they've done a lot to keep our freedoms, but our commander-in-chief has not always been a good person. And we've been doing the bidding of foreign countries for 20, 30 years, and certain wars have been counterproductive. I'm not blaming the military. The military is patriotic. The military does a job I could never do. I appreciate them. But this idea that you think just because somebody likes Trump, they can never be brainwashed, that's not true. Just because someone likes this country means that they can never be brainwashed, that's not true. In fact, that's how they brainwash you. They say, 9/11 happened, so now we have to go kill Muammar Gaddafi for Al-Qaeda. And then all the conservatives believe it because all the patriots, they play on your good spirit. They know how liberals think. They know how conservatives think. So how do you brainwash a conservative? You tell them it's a patriot. Use that term. And then they're like, oh, I'm a patriot. I can never be brainwashed. If you think you can never be brainwashed, then you're type A, the easiest person to brainwash. Like, I could be brainwashed, and I think I'm pretty on top of it. Like, of course I could be anyone can. People have in their life. All of us have at some point. So if you think a patriot could never be brainwashed, like, you're the easiest patriot to brainwash. You just give them, trust the plan, Guantanamo Bay, we're going to save the world. So believe this theory. And then you do it. Cause then I tell you that it's a possibility that certain parts of it are not true. And then you say, well, I could never be brainwashed. I'm a patriot. It's like, that's what a brainwashed patriot would say. And I'm not, I love a patriot, but like, what does that even mean? Like, of course, I could get brainwashed tomorrow. Like, I've been brainwashed in my life. They brainwashed me to listen to this music and do this stuff and buy these products and eat candy. It's happened to me. So there's no such thing as like, you can't do it. That means all right, you get it. Someone said, doing nothing but, hold on. I got to read this super chat. Doing nothing but whining online and having a blind allegiance to an obvious psyop because you're too cowardly to not admit you got suckered into the cuckold is not patriotic. I try to be nice with people because, like, I don't, people are very emotional. They're very attached to it, like similar to like a baby or a religion or like a Trump thing. So like certain things you want to finesse because if you're too mean about it, they freak out at you and say you're working for Mossad and who do you work for? And my husband liked you and they get all mad at me. Trust me, they do this every week. But I definitely think at a certain point, people need to just think a little bit. If you're worshiping, if you read something and learn and like, research and learn new things, that's fantastic. But at a certain point, if you're waiting for Jeff Sessions or Bill Barr or Durham because an anonymous message board told you to, that posts and riddles that you swear is a government agent, it's time to think a little bit. I don't know, but let me see. Danny said, I'll put my money on Trump winning. Just the fact that the left will burn the USA to the ground, and that's what the puppet masters want. Well, that's what I'm concerned. Not the burning to the ground, but I hear what you're saying. They get their way no matter what. Like Trump made some chess moves on China. Trump did the tariffs. He did a lot of moves on China. I even think that the Hong Kong thing was kind of like a CIA, like they were beefing through Hong Kong. Like Pompeo. I have a good skill for that because anytime like Democrats and Republicans agree on something in a foreign country, it's usually like some sort of CIA regime change sort of thing. Because like you never see like Nancy Pelosi and Trump get along, but like sometimes they're like, let's bomb Syria, or they're like, let's go after Venezuela, or like let's go to Hong Kong. So I was like, what are they doing in Hong Kong? There was and then we got destroyed by China this year. So, it's like I like Trump, but the puppet masters try to get their way no matter who wins. And we have more power than we think. Like I like Trump, but I don't like the patriots that just obsess over Trump and QAnon that don't realize that they're part of the plan. Like Trump's it's like, no, we lost this year so far. This was a bad year for us. We could turn it around, but it's like waiting for Trump to do everything. It's not the vibe. Someone said, did Sidney Powell get fired? No, I believe what happened was, I can't tell you the full story. It's a little bit suspicious, but I think she's filing her own lawsuit. I think she's on her own team. I don't know why. Like I'm not quite sure what the strategy was there. Because it seemed like they were doing press conferences together, but in my guess, I can't be sure. So you could think whatever you want. In general, I'm not an expert in this field, but I think either one, she never was with the Trump campaign, and it was always kind of a plan to do multiple lawsuits. So Giuliani files on behalf of Trump. Sidney Powell files on behalf of We the People. You have multiple lawsuits and different access to different things based on how you file. That's a possibility. Another possibility is that, based on things that Sidney Powell said, that possibly they decided, we don't want that as part of our lawsuit. We don't agree with what you're doing, but you go do that on your own. I think it's one of those two things. I'm not 100% sure. There's a chance that this is like a strategy move based on what they always were going to do. And I think there is a slight chance, regardless of what they say, that maybe Sidney Powell, said too much in a direction that the Trump administration thought that, it wasn't a good look for them. So they said, just file it on your own. But I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. Regardless of why they did it, I think strategically, they both decided that it's better to have separate lawsuits. Someone said, pay attention to me, in all caps. Okay, you got my attention. You screamed at me. I'm listening, Tim. Watch Mike Gill, State of Corruption. NH will explain what's going on in his last two videos. All right, check it out. Someone said, seems like politicians are lawyers. A lot of them are. If you're a politician, it's good to have a law background, like a Giuliani. I think it's helpful since a lot of politics is a lot of bullshit, a lot of money, and a lot of law. Someone said, anomaly, it may be important to point out that as long as Powell is not on the Trump's team, she could testify on his behalf. There's definitely, I'm not, like I said, I'm not like the most legally versed person. So there's a reason, there's a strategic reason they're not working together. It could be a few things, but yeah, if you're not with the Trump team, I believe there's a different angle you could take in court, different ways to present your case, testify. I can't explain it, but I understand to a slight extent why they're doing it. But I'm just saying, I understand that there's a difference between that. I really think there's two options though. Either this was always their plan and they're just announcing it before the week, or I think that they were going to take maybe Sydney on partly, and then they were like, you know what, it's best that you just do it on your own, based on certain things she said. I don't know, because I know like when you're a lawyer or when you're anything, what you say can be used against you. I'm not saying I don't believe that Sidney Powell's got some good evidence, but like I even said in my last video, I think she does, but she said a lot, and based on like, depending how you say it, they always say like plead the fifth. It can be used against you. So I feel like that might have came into play. It's not that she doesn't have a good case, but you know, she's been on TV a lot, saying a lot. So maybe that came into play. I don't know though. Well, I mean, in my opinion, this is a big week. We'll see how much progress they can really make. Someone said, "I love your shirt." Thank you. Well, yeah, it's on my website. It's the Common Sense Censored. It's dreamrare.com. These are my designs. Who do I think will win the president? I mean, I have an optimistic mindset. I think Trump could pull it off, but I mean, we'll see. These next 2 weeks are massive, so we'll really see what they have. But the good things are all the state legislatures are Republican majority, and they assigned the Supreme Court to the states, and all the swing states basically have conservative Supreme Court judges. So that's the path to victory for sure. I think it's definitely possible. It's going to be a crazy finish, no doubt. But I think they could pull it off. We'll see. Someone said if he pulls it off, there's a long way to go. It's going to get crazy either way, folks. That's why I hate. I'm not trying to be like, I'm not a black pillar. I take the white pill, the optimistic, like, yeah, it's all going to work out. But like anybody that thinks that like Trump's going to wipe their butt for them, it's not going to happen. It's just not. Even if he pulls off this presidency, which I think he can, this is not the end of the journey. Like it's this never-ending role-playing game where like Bill Barr is going to come any moment. It's like, guys, it's so bizarre that someone anonymous could convince you to be like pro big government. Like literally before that, you would have been like reading Bill Cooper and been like, the government's not going to save me. But then QAnon comes along and tells you the same thing Bill Cooper tells you, but then he tells you like a few new things, and he tells you like WikiLeaks stuff. And then he says, well, also trust the government. Also, we have good people in the government. Like that's true, but like you should know that that's not going to save you. Like I don't know. At a certain point, you got to realize shit's going down either way. You're going to have to be a part of the plan. Like literally, like you, your community, your businesses, millions of people, that's the plan. Someone said, trust God. Yeah. What happens to Trump if he doesn't win? I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to repeat myself, but I don't care in the sense of I want him to win. I watched what Trump did this year, and as much as I like him, he kind of dropped the ball for 2 months during the lockdowns. I mean, I don't like bringing this up because everybody cries and act like it didn't happen, but he extended the lockdown past Easter. He ate dinner with Gavin Newsom and Murphy and said how great they were doing. And you could find my tweets from April. I said, Trump, the only reason Governor Murphy's being nice to you is because you just gave him authoritarian power. And Trump's like, oh, Governor Murphy loves me. I gave him ventilators. I was like, first of all, the ventilators are not the play. Second of all, Governor Murphy does not like you. Gavin Newsom does not like you. They just want power. Trump gave them the power. He sat in with dinner with them. He said, they love me. They said, I'm so good with the ventilators. And he did nothing for 2 months. So I hope he wins. I do everything I can to help him win the election because I think he's the better candidate. But I don't care what Trump does after the election because people need to stand up for themselves. He didn't help them in March. He didn't help them in April. He didn't help them in May. It wasn't until like mid-May, late June that he started actually railing against the lockdowns hard. And still he had no solution for liberal states, and he never will. And it doesn't matter what he thinks. So, like it's got to come from people. He didn't save us in March. He didn't save us in April. He didn't save us in May. He has no plan for it now. QAnon has no plan for it now. None of them have a plan for it now. You are the plan. Sidney Powell has a plan to try to win Trump the election. Trump has a plan to potentially not leave the White House and win the election. You have to have a plan to get your freedom back. You're not the president. You're not a lawyer. Maybe you are a lawyer, but I'm guessing you're not. You are a citizen. You're a taxpayer. You should not be a slave. You should not be a prisoner. If anybody tells you to wait for Trump or think what he's doing, I like the guy. I like him a lot. I like him more than 99% of people. Maybe not a lot of people like him, but in general, I'm a big fan. I don't care what he does. It's like we have to save ourselves. And if 90% of Trump supporters just wait for what he says, it's never getting done. If 90% of Trump supporters wait for Q to tell them what to do, it's never getting done. It's been 8 months, guys, and they don't have any sort of plan. The people with the plans are protesters, the Stop the Steal people. They're combining physical protests with numbers, with, it's going to be like lawyers, numbers, finances. It's going to have to be all of that. We can't all do everything. Protests alone to stop the steal are not going to stop the steal, but we are showing them like we have 1,000 people. We can go to Georgia. We can go to Michigan. We could go to Nevada. We could go to California. We could put 1 million people in the streets in Washington, D.C., that's big. It's not going to do everything, but if we can combine these things on all these levels, it's not going to hurt. Someone said Trump could have stopped the mask mandates and the lockdowns if he wanted to. Instead, he gave millions of dollars to governors and used their discretions. Sam, I hear you. I think a lot of people here will not want to hear that, but I hear you completely. I absolutely think he did not do enough from March to May. I was getting very frustrated with him, and people were getting upset for me here, but everyone's like, he couldn't do anything. And I'm like, guys, he passed the emergency order. I'll give him a pass on that. He was confused for a few weeks. I'll give him a pass on that. He had the chance, and everyone says it was just the governors. If you remember, he was starting to say, I'll repeat real history before they change it. Trump was starting to say the cure is worse than the virus. He started saying it before Easter, and he started saying, I got to open the economy before Easter. Fauci got to him. Bill Gates got to him. They showed him the fake chart. And what did Trump do? Can we recall history in a real format? He said, let's extend the lockdowns past Easter. And I said, Trump, what are you doing, bro? I'm in my house like a slave. I can't even leave. And you're flying planes over. He's like, check out the planes. I don't want planes, Trump. I want freedom. So he didn't fight the lockdowns like people thought he did. It wasn't until 2 months. Like you said, he gave governors a shitload of money. He sat with Newsom. He sat with Phil Murphy. As I'm in my house locked like a slave, Trump's on Twitter saying, Phil Murphy's so nice to me. Phil Murphy's a great guy. We're getting along with the ventilators. And I'm like, bro, he doesn't like you. He wants money, bro. He wants power. Who didn't see this coming? So, I've forgiven Trump because what other option do we have? He's clearly the best guy that we've ever had there. But it's like, am I supposed to sit here and say, trust the plan, or he's going to save my life? He's not going to save my life. He didn't save my life in March. He didn't save me in April. He didn't save me in May. He was 2 months behind what I said in March, and I said I got the math. It's not a competition, but like I gave him 2 months to save me. He didn't. It's been 8 months. He's done almost nothing. He did nothing to stop tech censorship. I'm not picking on Trump. I'm just saying stop trusting the plan and the anonymous riddle poster on the message board because you think Sidney Powell is going to wipe your ass. Even if they get the steal back, it's going to be nonstop political theater until you're whittled down to communism. And it's not going to matter who's the president anyway if the tech companies get more power, which they already have. So you get what I'm saying? It's not going to matter at that point who's president. So we have to stand up for ourselves. That's what it's got to be. Someone said Trump was listening to the scientists. Why don't you see Fauci any longer? He's shuffled his team, but it's too late. It doesn't matter what science. He's listening to Atlas, and guess what? Atlas gets banned off Twitter. Why did Atlas get banned off Twitter? Because he's a better scientist than Fauci, and Trump does nothing about it. It doesn't matter that he shuffled Fauci out. It's November, and no one's doing anything anyway. I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just, I'm trying to put it in perspective. I've used these two examples, but I'm going to say it again. In 2016, I didn't support Trump. I don't know that I made my first video because I was still confused. I knew Hillary was just evil, but I was like, I wasn't conservative. I was younger. I know who helped Trump win the election. It was not me. The people who helped win Trump the election, like Milo Yiannopoulos and Alex Jones, those were like two big figures who helped Trump win the election. They got banned in 2018. If you let your biggest followers get banned, you get what I'm saying? Eventually, you're going to run out of room. And I told a lot of the Q people, they're like, don't worry, trust the plan. 90% of them got wiped off of Twitter. They've wiped out people's Facebook pages. Anybody that was pro-Q aggressively has been wiped off of social media. So instead of joining me to lobby with the GOP, we have America First movements. We've been. It's not my movement, but I saw them going at Charlie Kirk, going at Dan Crenshaw, going at Donald Trump, respectfully saying, we want free speech. We want America First policies. We don't want this BS like you're selling out free speech. We had a movement that was actually trying to hold the GOP accountable in 2019. But the QAnoners did not join us because they were trusting the plan. And where did that plan lead you? Right off of Facebook. Now your Facebook's deleted. Right off of Instagram. Now your Instagrams are deleted. All the QAnon accounts of friends that I used to follow that loved it, they've all been wiped off of Twitter. So if you actually, instead of trusting the plan of the secret government agent on the message board that showed you a few riddles and you connected the dots, if you actually stood with the movement of patriots who actually saw this all happening, we could have prevented it from happening in 2019. Because trusting the plan means trusting yourself to identify that Bill Barr is not your baby daddy. Okay, it's like Durham is not your Superman. Like it's like when I was young, I used to like the Ninja Turtles. Now you guys are like 40 years old, and you think Durham is going to save your life, and you've never even seen a video of him. Because I don't even think there's one video of Durham. There's like 3 pictures, not a single video of the guy. He's done nothing tangible in the last 2 years that you can, but he's your biggest hero. It's like being a Power Ranger. I like the Red Ranger. You like Bill Barr and Durham. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to say, I think you should have a Twitter account. I don't agree with some of the theories, but I wouldn't wipe you off of Twitter. But we had a movement in 2019 to try to stop the GOP from allowing censorship. And we had almost no support. Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro turned against the America First movement. They were beyond useless. Dan Crenshaw is a total snake. Trump did absolutely nothing. The QAnoners were trusting the plan. And now here we are. Now here we are in 2020, and no one has a social media account. Everybody's been kneecapped. The president's getting censored. Sidney Powell, one of the most important lawyers, has been censored on Twitter for 12 hours. I'm not trying to play Monday morning quarterback, but it's like, if you want to be able to say things, we had a movement last year to hold big tech accountable. And we called out the snakes in the GOP. We told you that the plan was bullshit and that Bill Barr was not going to arrest your enemies before the election, which he never did. You didn't want to hear it. You just want to keep dragging the goalposts forever. It doesn't matter when it happens. It'll happen sometime. Just say it's your new Bible, okay? It's like the end times. Like, I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen at some time. Thank you, Jesus Christ, you did. It's the same thing. It's like anything that happens, something good happens. Tom Fitton does it. James O'Keefe does it. Patrick Howley does an article. It's like, thank you, QAnon. Thank you, QAnon. It's like, no, Tom Fitton did that. No, Hillary's going to court. First of all, never happened. Second of all, you didn't do that. Q didn't do that. Tom Fitton did that. James O'Keefe did that. Sidney Powell did. You get what I'm saying? It's like you credit everything to him. When it doesn't happen, you say it will happen forever. Just worship. Just get on your knees and worship. You know, we had a movement last year to stop this stuff, and no one was there because everyone's just waiting for Durham. It's bizarre, but now you don't have a Twitter account. So it is what it is. Someone said, why isn't big tech losing the 230 protection? Well, there's somebody I know because he told me about it. Jason Fike, I believe his name is suing Twitter. So he's got a case going to the Supreme Court. He's probably going to do more than all of the GOP Congress did. I don't know for sure, but he's got a lawsuit. He's bringing the big boys to the table. He's trying to sue, bring the Section 230 to the Supreme Court. So he's working on it. There's, like that's the type of stuff. You don't have to sue social media and sue the Section 230 or whatever, but like someone's doing that. It's not QAnon. It's not Bill Barr. It's a patriot citizen who actually stepped up and did something. I get Sidney Powell's doing something. I get Lynn Wood's doing something. That's great. But like, you get what I'm saying? There certain things you can become the plan. Someone said, Mr. Perfect over here. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm just saying I don't worship an anonymous Riddler instead of standing up for myself. It's like I'm watching all my friends get their Twitter accounts wiped away for 2 years, and we're forming a movement to stop it. And everyone's like, don't try to do anything. We got it under control. What do you work for Mossad? It's like, why would I work for Mossad when you're worshiping a president who did more for Israel than any other politician? Do you not even know who Mossad is? If anyone's Mossad, it's you. Because you're worshiping the president who's literally working hand in hand with Israel, aka every president ever, because you can't get there if you don't do that. But in general, it's like, I'm not Mr. Perfect. I'm just saying, stop waiting for Bill Barr to do everything. Like, just stop. Just do something. And then like have hope to the side. But like, I don't know. This is like 3 years of this stuff. We're doing this. Like, just no. Like literally people would be mad that I was taking action. They'd be like, no, you're sketchy. I'm like, why am I sketchy? You're sketchy because you want to do something. Don't do it. We're doing it. I'm like, what are you doing? We're trusting the plan. I'm like, you're sitting at your computer and we're trying to stop the GOP from not doing anything about Section 230. Oh no, it's all going to go down the days of darkness. I'm like, no, we want the internet. You don't want to lose the internet. It's like, as Klaus Schwab, the head of the World Economic Forum, he's planning 15 days of darkness, folks. 15 days of darkness, QAnon told me. You know who's planning that? Klaus Schwab at his Digital Polygon Summit, which is the next event 201, which is planning a massive potential cyber attack disaster. So as the elites are planning a cyber attack disaster, you're secretly waiting for a cyber attack disaster. While the elites are planning a lockdown, you're secretly waiting for a lockdown. Isn't that weird? Libertarians and conservatives are now obsessed with the same thing that the elites are doing. You're pro-lockdown, pro-martial law, pro-internet blackout when you shouldn't want an internet blackout. Do you notice something a little weird going on, or am I the crazy one here? Do you get it now or no? It's like you don't want the internet to black out. If the internet blacks out, your bank account goes down, your business goes down, your communication goes down. You're a duck in the water, folks. And your idea that you're going to be saved by white hats and good government agents is the stupidest theory probably on the internet. So it's like you're wishing for the same things that the bad people are planning. And that's like what you're hoping for. You get what I'm saying now? That's it. All right. Someone said Joe Biden's dark winter. It's going to be a dark winter, folks, because why not? Just shut your business down. Let's see. Nicole said, remember when Trump was running in 2015, he said he would be interested in shutting down access to internet to terrorists. And now with COVID, every human's a terrorist. Well, yeah, I mean, I heard him say that in 2015. He was trying to say, let's get ISIS off the internet. It's a slippery slope, but yeah, I mean, I don't think he ended up doing that. Someone said, what about all the predictions? Well, here's what I'm going to say. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but like, you got to understand there's people, David Icke, Alex Jones, Bill Cooper, Robert Anton Wilson, the guy who made the Illuminati card deck. You could buy an Illuminati card deck. I think it's by Peter Jackson. I forget who wrote it. These are everything that's happening now, including like the pandemic. They're in a set of cards from 1999 or 1989. It's from 40 years ago. So really smart people who read the blueprints of what the elites are doing, they know what's happening 30 years in advance because they read this stuff. So there's been a lot of smart people who've predicted. I mean, I'm reading a book from 1930 where Manning Johnson predicted everything that's happening. You could watch G. Edward Griffin, who I have an interview with. You should watch it. It's fantastic. He's like 89. The guy acts like he's 40. He's like drank the fountain of youth or something. It's the healthiest 90-year-old I've ever met in my life. But he predicted this communist takeover in 1969. So you're impressed with a message board poster who's made some right predictions from 2 years ago, when a lot of what he's doing is using, WikiLeaks documents that Julian Assange, basically exposed and got arrested for, and then combining it with stuff that's like blatantly obvious to like, anybody with a semi, high IQ or that's good at researching stuff. Like, guys, it's not a competition, but like I have tweets from 4 years ago saying that they were going to do this because I saw them do it in Syria and Libya. I'm not this secret wizard. It's just kind of obvious at a certain point. So I'm not doubting that he's gotten some things right, but it's like there's been people from 100 years ago who predicted more accurately what's going on now. You're way too easily you're like, well, he got a few things right, so that means I have to wait for Bill Barr in Durham. Like, he's combining 80% real information, real stuff, real links, human trafficking, things that are real. And then it's like a call to action, except instead of an actual call to action, it's like, just wait for the government to do it. Just wait for the blackout, which you shouldn't want to blackout. Just wait for the lockdown. You shouldn't want a lockdown. Bill Cooper predicted this 30 years ago, and he said lockdowns are bad, and you don't seem to care. QAnon predicted this 2 years ago and said lockdowns and blackness and darkness is a good thing. And now you think blackouts are a good thing. So you don't believe the guy who predicted it 20 years ago who said it's bad. You believe the guy who said it 2 years ago and said it's good, using a lot of WikiLeaks information. You get what I'm saying? I don't doubt. I've read the posts. I've been into it. I've seen it. He gets a lot of stuff right because he just does what I do. He looks at what's going on. He makes an assessment of it. He gets links that are real. And he says, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Trust the plan, trust Barr, trust Durham, big drop, 15 days of darkness. And then you guys, like, your mind's blown over it. And you think it's like the return of the Messiah. You're like, you don't understand, Anomaly. It's a government agent. So you trust government agents when they post anonymously now? It's just mysterious because you don't know who it is. You play a game, you connect codes. It's a fun game for adults to play. It's like connect the dots. It's like real information. What's going on? Am I going to be saved? Is humanity going to be saved? Am I part of it? We're all part of it. I get it. It's like there's a lot of good information there, but then at the same time, there's a lot of like everything that's real combined with like massive thing that you should not want. Like, they're planning, the people that you think are against Trump are planning a blackout. So if you're waiting for a blackout, when a blackout hits, every sane, rational patriot is going to know it's a bad idea. A blackout is what Klaus Schwab is planning, the founder of the World Economic Forum. A blackout means your bank goes down. A blackout means you don't have internet connection. So who's going to cheer on a blackout? Let's think, guys. Who's going to cheer? Which conservatives would cheer on a blackout? The QAnoners, not all of them, but most of them, because he told you that there's going to be a blackout and it's a good thing. Who cheered on the lockdown? Oh, it wasn't me, Anomaly. Literally the biggest backlash I got when I was doing research I said Fauci was not the real deal. I said Trump was off it. I had all this stuff in March and April. Who gave me the most backlash? Trust the planners, because they thought the lockdown was a secret way to arrest the Vatican and Podesta was going to get arrested and they had to secure the borders. So you get what I'm saying? It's like real information, human trafficking, link, prediction, combined with telling you to like, get excited over blackouts and like slavery lockdowns. I mean, at a certain point, you got to just like think about it and just be like, what? I like what he says, but like at the same time, yeah, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I should like question a little bit. I don't know. All right. Someone said, anyone can see what they're up to. It feels like we are being, well, that's also the thing now. It's, once again, it's not, I'm not acting like I'm special with my predictions from 4 years ago. What I'm saying is it's not the Bill Cooper days. Bill Cooper's impressive. Illuminati card deck is impressive. Robert Anton Wilson is impressive. G. Edward Griffin is impressive. I work hard, but like, it's not that hard to predict things anymore. It's not like he's only 2 years old, guys. It's not like this, or 3 years. It's not like this message board's been here for 50 years. I have books from people who predicted what's happening now 100 years ago. That's impressive. What I do, my reporting is impressive, but like my predictions are good, but like I can't sit and brag and act like I'm some secret sage. Guys, it could not be more obvious what's going on. They don't hide it like they used to. Back in the day, you had to be like a genius like Bill Cooper to figure out what they were doing. Now you just have to have like a low IQ and just like have a YouTube account, and they'll like broadcast exactly what they're doing in a forum, and then they'll do it next year. So it's not hard to predict what they're doing because they tell you that they're doing it. If in 2030 you own nothing, I'm not a wizard. They wrote it on a World Economic Forum board in 2016. Someone said, Q told us to read Bill Cooper. That's awesome. There's a lot of good elements to it, and there's a lot of just like weird waiting along. I get it. It's there, like that's fantastic that he told you to read that. That's great. I think there's a lot of people have learned a lot, but it becomes like this religion thing. It's like, well, he told us to do that. He doesn't tell. It's like, who cares what he tells you to do? You get what I'm saying? It's like, who cares? It's the same thing with Trump. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like, what's Trump going to do after the election? Who cares? You have a lockdown in front. It's up to the citizens to do something about it. If Trump wants to lead the lockdown movement, God bless him. If he doesn't, someone else is going to have to do it, and he's going to have to do something else. So it's like, it's like, well, he told us to, he did the, it's like, who cares? It's, you could read it and learn things from it, but when you start trusting everything that it says, like, I could tell you to read Bill Cooper. I tell you to read Bill Cooper, and then I say, here, read Bill Cooper and do this. It's not like, read Bill Cooper, human trafficking is real, but wait for Bill Barr, trust Durham, trust Sessions, trust government, lockdown, 15 days of darkness, tee-hee-hee. And then like the lockdown happens, and I'm like, man, this is pretty whack. And then I have all these Q people, and they're like, tee-hee-hee. I'm like, why are you so happy? I'm glad you're happy. It's good to be happy. But it's like, haha, I'm happy because Q warned me about the good secret lockdown. It's like, that's great. He told you to read Bill Cooper, but clearly everybody who read it did not get the memo, because the amount of people that were like excited about lockdowns, and then they were trying to tell me that days of darkness were coming. And I've read the post, guys. I know what it says. They think that means that the internet's going to go down, and that's a good thing. They're like, when the internet goes down, that's a good sign. It's like, you're being brainwashed. That's great. Hey guys, read Bill Cooper and then wait for the internet to go down. And that's when the white hats are coming. It's like, I would tell you not to trust me, let alone if you didn't even see my face and I was just some random message board poster. But I'm telling you, they're probably going to do a blackout at some point. So it's good to have physical resources, not be shocked if it happens, own property maybe, or I don't know, have some sort of a plan, not trust the plan of Bill Barr, trust the plan of yourself, that if a lockdown comes or a blackout comes, not to sit in your house and say, the lockdown is here. Yay, I've been waiting for this because he told me about it. Instead of that being like, okay, the blackout's here. Okay, time to, get food. And I think that's probably a better plan. Someone said he never said these things. People just assumed. Well, this is what I'm talking about, folks. I understand the dynamic that what he says is not what people think. I understand. But here's what you have to understand. He's not speaking clearly to people. If he spoke clearly to people, people would understand what he's saying. The amount of Q supporters who understand what he's saying are next to nothing. Even the top decoders who get retweeted by him all the time and by Sidney Powell, they admit to me in debates, they don't even know what he's saying because he doesn't make it clear what he's saying. So it's not like this shocker, like, no, anomaly. They just don't understand him. No one understands him because he posts in riddles, okay? He posts real link, read Bill Cooper, trust Barr, trust Serms, days of darkness, ? Who is this? Is this Jesus Christ? Even if it's Pompeo or Flynn, do they know everything? If they knew everything, wouldn't they be able to do something? Like, it's a government agent on the inside, so now you listen to government agents? No, anomaly, it's a white hat on the inside. Well, if he's such a good white hat, can't he do something besides telling you to just wait for someone else that never does it? You get what I'm saying? It's like, I get the dynamic. Yeah, he says things and people misinterpret it, but the amount of people misinterpreting it is sky high because it's very confusing on purpose. It's not like straightforward content. It's like truth, call to action to wait, call to action to support government agent, call to action to, just it's coming, boom. Like, yeah, of course, there's going to be 80% of the population. They're going to be like, lockdowns are good. This is that. It's not his fault. I'm like, I'm not saying it's his fault, but the amount of people that clearly have gotten their brain scrambled by it is a high percentage. I'm not going to say it's everyone or 100%, but the amount of people who don't know anything anymore or know some stuff, but then get trapped in other elements is pretty large. Someone said whiteout coming soon. Isn't whiteout what you put on like a page with the pen? All right, I'll read this. Someone said people are just looking for a savior. Be the savior of your own community. I like that. I think that's a good message. I think it's good to like Trump. It's good to have faith. I think it's good to believe in God. I think it's good to research. I think it's good to learn. I think it's good to consider things. I think personally, I just think it's a terrible idea. Yeah, to have like a Superman complex. Like, and then this is the part that bugs me out is I document because I watch everything, not to hold it against people, because listen, everyone makes mistakes, everyone does stuff. But like I watch friends and followers that I follow, I watch them post that Podesta's going to get arrested on Easter. I know that Q never said that, but they think that. I watch how much they mess up. I watch how many times they have like trust Barr. Like I'll be like, I don't trust Barr. And they'll be like, no, trust Barr. That's the most trustworthy guy in the world. And then as soon as it doesn't happen, they just change and they're like, I don't trust Barr. And I'm like, you used to like a month ago. And like, no, that wasn't me. That was other people. I was like, no, I saw you post that. I literally like, it's like this weird like complex. If I make a mistake, I'll just be like, listen, guys, I made a mistake. This is not a code. It's like, I'll show you what I know. I'll show you why I know it. I'll tell you what's going on. And then it's like, take the information, do what you will with it. But like the amount of people that are constantly wrong and never admit that they're wrong and then always tell me it was someone else. Guys, I got messaged 50 times about people that thought the lockdown was a good idea, 50 times about people that wanted blackouts to happen, 50 times that Durham was going to save them before the election. Even the Q people here, I'm not trying to be mean, but you have to admit, probably 90% of you watching this, you thought Durham and Barr and with the help of Jeff Sessions was going to arrest at least one of your enemies by the election. Don't lie. You could lie in the comments and say you didn't think that, but you didn't think it would be after the election. You didn't think that Trump would have to fight back in court. You did not think it was coming after the election. You thought it was coming before the election. It's nice that it's like the coronavirus. When there's no goalposts, it's never wrong, right? You could be Gavin Newsom, change the goalposts and just shut down society. It's like QAnon. It's like, of course, we all thought it was happening before the election, but technically he never said it, so we'll just extend it. It's like you all thought that was the case, but you'll never admit it, which is fine. But it's just like at a certain point, the game just seems like it's becoming a little counterproductive. But someone said, sure. All right, so, we got some. Someone said blackouts are insane. A blackout is what the bad guys are planning, folks. A cyber attack is a bad thing. If you follow the Q stuff, be honest with me. I'm going to look at the Facebook thing. I'm going to look at the YouTube thing. Be honest with me. If you follow Q and you're a smart guy and you're the type of Q person that says, it's not me, Anomaly. It's not all of us. It's them. It's only a few. He never said it. Can you admit that you know that there's a lot of people who follow Q that want a blackout to happen, or they think that if a blackout happens, it's a good thing because there's been a lot of talk of days of darkness. Can you admit that or not? Or are we just going to play this game of like, no one thinks that way because he never said that? I mean, he's made it pretty clear that a day of darkness is coming, and that's in many ways a good thing. Or maybe it's not a good thing, or I don't know what it is because he just said it. It's like, at that point, who cares then? It's like, you don't know what to think about a thing that never happened. Who cares? There's no need to play these games. You can read the script of the people who are writing the script of the world on their own website from 2016. Someone said a blackout will truly end society. And here's what I'm saying to people. I'm not trying to scare people, but the same people that orchestrated the response to coronavirus are orchestrating a response to a cyber hack. They're doing that. So, and then there's a right-wing movement of people who think blackouts are a good thing. And they're mad that I'm saying this. They're like, well, he told me to read Bill Cooper. I'm glad. It's a good read, but still. Someone said Q is Melania's pedicure. Exactly. She's got great nails. So if you don't trust that plan, you might be working with the bad guys. I'm going to read this. Mac is not happy with Trump. He said, Mac said, stop praising the fraud Trump. He's overseeing the making of the vaccine. That's modified RNA, all part of Bill Gates' final solution. Mac, I hear you. I still want to believe that, he's doing what he can do, and he's not, he doesn't have the power to do all this stuff. But Mac, I hear you, and I'm not going to get upset at you saying that, because it's clear to me Trump did not stop the vaccine production. He rushed it. He's bragging about it. He didn't stop the lockdown. So I like Trump more than Biden, and I think he's a lot more useful than Biden. But it's been at least over 8 months where I am not waiting for Trump. I'm not trusting the plan. I'm not waiting for Sidney Powell. I'm not waiting for Barr. I'm not waiting for Durham. I'm not waiting for anybody. So I agree with what you're saying. I don't, I'm not going to call Trump a fraud, because I still think he could prove himself and come through in the clutch. And I have faith. But at the same time, I don't have this blind faith where I'm just going to say he's got me, I'm good. Like, I kind of agree with what you're saying in a way. It's like he rushed the vaccine. Can I say this too? Are people going to get mad? I'm just going to say it. I don't care. I argued with people on here all year. They said, Anomaly, he's rushing the vaccine because he's going to try to beat Bill Gates' vaccine, and he wants to get a better vaccine out to the people. That theory has come on my feed 10 times, and everyone said that. Guys, Moderna is Bill Gates' favorite vaccine, and Trump is tweeting about Moderna. At a certain point, people are going to have to come to grips, whether it's Q or whether it's Trump. You don't have to not like Q. You don't have to not like Trump. But this like cult-like allegiance to somebody that so clearly is not doing what you think they're doing is going to have to end at some point, because he's not going to save you in the way that you think he is. He's going to help. He might help. He might not. I think he's going to help. But like, this vaccine is made. They're going to use it. They're not going to stop it. It's been rushed through safety trials. There's already been wild side effects of like pain in a lot of people. I mean, you just watch the Bill Gates interview. I'm not even going to say it because they'll censor me. Watch Bill Gates say it. I don't expect Trump to save me at this point, and no one really should. Vote for him, support him, have his back in this election. But at a certain point, I hear what you're saying, Mac. I'd rather you say that to me, even though I disagree with you. I'd rather a Mac than somebody who's just trusting him so much that they're not doing anything. We need more people that feel that way, because that's the type of energy that's going to send it in the right direction. Someone said, we love you in Mount Washington. Well, thank you so much. I love you guys too. Thank you for supporting. All right. I way overstay my welcome, but that tends to happen. I'll answer a few more questions and I'll get out. This is in a weird way. This is like my Zoom version of like a social thing. It's like, now that we can't go anywhere, I talk to you, and it's like it's actually fun. I mean, that's not like surprising, but I like it. So I end up staying longer. These are fun. Someone said, God rules. Bless you, man. Exactly. Charles said, what do you think follows a stolen election? Freedom. Charles, I hear you. I'm going to say it one more time, then I'm going to move on quickly and get another comment. There's a happy ending in the end. I believe in that. But like, there is no like, it's over. Bill Barr did it, and Sidney Powell. It's like, regardless of what happens, I think Trump could pull it off. But regardless, things are going down, folks. Like, it's going down, and you're part of the plan. It's actually a good thing. It's like you're part of the movie. And I know people know that. We're digital soldiers. Everybody's doing their job. You can't do everything. But like, I think a lot of people are wanting to just think that like, it's all like one day they're going to wake up and it's all going to be exposed and they're going to have nothing to do. And I pray that happens. And there's still a possibility, but I think that you're right. In a stolen election, If Biden wins, shit's going down. If Trump wins, shit's going down. It just seems unavoidable. The vaccine's coming anyway. The mandates are coming anyway. The lockdowns are coming anyway. I want Trump to win, but if you want to be honest, and I've said this all year, I said there's pros and cons of Trump being in office. The pros are obvious, but if you really want to really think about it outside of how much we like Trump, if Biden was in office, people would not have dealt with these lockdowns. And the QAnoners would not have been so patient. The Trump supporters would not have been so patient. Conservatives would not have been so patient. This never would have happened, in my opinion, under a Joe Biden presidency, I think, or a Hillary Clinton. No one would have thought for a second that this was a good idea. But you had the most patriotic people all frozen because they had theories or they thought maybe that, like, I don't want Biden to win. But the one pro, in my opinion, of him winning is people will finally snap out of it. Like if Trump pulls this off, are people going to go back to sleep for 4 years? If Biden wins, it's wake up time. So it's like, I want Trump to win. I think it's important. But to be honest, I don't think Trump's going to save us. I don't think Biden is going to do anything good. But like at least with Biden winning, people will finally wake up and realize it. If Trump wins and he puts you to sleep for 4 years again, that's not a good thing. Like you have to promise me if Trump wins, when Trump wins, please don't play this game again. Stop playing this stupid game. Like he's not going to save you. He'll be an ally if you work, fight back. But it's like at this point, it's like, yeah, it's like the games are going to end if Biden wins. Like, are you still going to? Oh, the bar's going to like. Are you going to be like a brainwashed liberal? You're like the Mueller report. It's like we need to be part of the plan. I don't think this lockdown would have been pulled off under a Hillary. And someone made this point to me yesterday. I was at, a Trump protest, but they said, if you really scope out on what Trump did for our country, I'm not turning on Trump. I like Trump. I'm trying to help him win. But if you really scope out at the end of the 4 years, Black unemployment doesn't exist anymore. That's kind of been ruined over the pandemic. Hispanic unemployment, they ruined that. He ended some of the wars in Syria. Fantastic, but they're ready to do false flags and start another one like as soon as he's gone. Freedom, it's non-existent. First Amendment got worse. Second Amendment got worse. In almost every tangible way, we've lost out with the Trump presidency. I'm not blaming him. I don't think Hillary would have been a good option. It would have probably been worse or the same. But like, can we really say, if we take our emotions and our loyalty to Trump out of it, can we really say we're in a really good position right now? Socially, we're in a worse position. Getting called racist and Nazi-wise, they're in a worse position. In almost every tangible way, we're in the worst position that we've ever been in ever, as far as we the people and our freedom. So it's like, if he exits now, we just got fucked. And I'm not saying it's his fault. Either they just had too much power and he couldn't handle it, or it's just political theater of some point to just, lull everyone to sleep. And I'm not blaming him. And this is where I get construed. This is why I talk on YouTube. If I say this on Twitter, everyone gets mad at me. People cry, Q people cry at me, Trump people cry at me. It's all bad. If I say this on YouTube, people get what I'm saying. Because I'm not trying to be, like a sabotage or anything. I like the president. I'm still going to help him win. But someone said you're pulling a Tucker. No, that's not true. I'm not doing that. I'm helping him win. I'm giving the information out there to try to help them. More than a lot of these other people, my friends and my peers are out there really trying to stop the steal. Okay. And I'm doing what I can, but I just have another angle to it. I'm focused on the lockdowns. I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying on a big scale, we're in a worse position. It's not his fault. I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying that's where we're at. And my problem is, and this is why I said that, people, and I get why, because Trump has done a lot as well. People are more concerned with like making excuses for why it happened, even though we know why it happened, than they are about ending it. It's like, be passionate about supporting Trump, but you're more passionate to say why you think it's a good idea that he did Operation Warp Speed than you are about rejecting Operation Warp Speed. People, it's like there's more energy there to like make excuses for all this stuff than there is against it. If the amount of energy of making excuses for why we're in a communist country now was put towards not being in a communist country now, we wouldn't be in a communist country. We got bamboozled one way or another. You could blame China, you could blame the UN, you could blame the Democrats, you could blame the media. I'm not saying you're wrong. Clearly, we know who the worst culprits are. But in this game of political theater, in this game of chess, we got played this year. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not blaming Trump, but we got totally bamboozled. We got totally played, and we're not in an ideal position. No matter how much people want to say they have it all under control, this is not an ideal for Trump. Position for Trump. This is not an ideal position for us, but we'll fight through it. We're warriors, we're soldiers, but this was not a flawless year for the freedom fighters by any means. I'm going to read this comment. That's a good one. Kai O said, is it true William Cooper and Alex Jones had a feud back in the day? White horse changed the way I looked at everything. Ron Paul 2024. I think Ron Paul's too old to be president, but I love Ron Paul. Yeah, no, it is true. I think Bill Cooper did not like Alex Jones, at least for a point. I mean, you could probably find the video. If you search Bill Cooper, Alex Jones, you could find Bill Cooper complaining about Alex Jones. I think, if I remember correctly, I think he was mad because he thought Alex Jones was a little bit too fear-mongery, and he thought that he misled people about some crises. And to be honest, as I like Alex, I actually got to talk to him last week, but he kind of does the same thing now. Like with coronavirus, he when I was listening to him in March, just seeing what he was saying, he was like, it's really bad, and he was overhyping it like it was this virus that was going to wipe us all out. He was like, guys, it's over, pray to the Lord. Like, it was some real fear-mongery stuff. It was basically like, this is a high-level virus, we're all done. And then a week later, he was like, it's not that bad. So Alex, you know, he goes all in sometimes, and in my opinion, like I think that's what Bill Cooper was saying, which I think is I think that's a fair kind of interpretation of Alex, where he was saying that even back in the 80s or 90s or whatever, Alex would do the same thing. He would get his whole audience like super scared about this huge crisis, and then it would never happen. So I think that was pretty much Bill Cooper's problem. Someone said he felt threatened by Alex. Yeah, I mean, you never know. It could be like a personality thing. Sometimes people just don't get along. There's egos, and could have been that. But I from what I remember, I think it was a fair criticism. But also, Bill Cooper just wrote him off completely. So I don't know. It was some sort of personal problem they have. But they're for what they are. I like them both. They're just two different types of people. But I understand what Bill Cooper was saying. It made sense. But yeah, you could don't take my word for it. If you want to just search Bill Cooper, Alex Jones, and you could see like the little beef they had or whatever. I'm going to read Blake's super chat. Thank you, Blake. Well, first, I'm going to read a Facebook one. Craig Andrews said, think for yourself or they'll put the wool over your eyes every time. For sure. I like that comment. Edward Bernays, Machiavellian subversion of the real revolution against tyranny. That's what Q is, an intel op, but it's being used on you. Anonymous right here. He's not saying it's not true. He's saying it's a co-op. Interesting. I'll check out that book, Blake. But yeah, I try to be careful because if I'm not 100% sure about something, I'm not gonna declare that it is something. So like people are like, is it fake? I'm like, well, it's not fake. Is it real? I don't think it's what you make of it. But I hear what you're saying. There's definitely like Machiavellian ways to give you like 80% truth and then kind of like bring you in and then run you in the wrong direction. Like they call it like a gatekeeper in conservative politics. I was complaining about it a little bit last year. I like to compliment people when they do really good work. It's like clearly Charlie Kirk, young, smart guy, does, got a big audience. Ben Shapiro, smart guy, huge accomplishments, huge radio network, news network. Like, I try to compliment them, but at the same time, sometimes they play the role of the gatekeeper where it's like, they got all the people and then it's like they give you all the conservative values that you love. And then when it's time to start a war in Syria, Ben Shapiro's like a neocon war hawk. So he stabs Trump in the back and says, like, we need more war. Trump is like the same as like a Lindsey Graham. Like they want war for reasons that, in my opinion, have nothing to do with America. In his opinions, well, he'll say it has to do with America, but I think it has to do with another country that he likes. But in general, it's like that's kind of the vibe where like people will be like, well, he tells me the truth all the time. And I'm not, listen to everybody, love who you love. I'm not trying to stop you from feeling a certain way, but it's like the 80% truth. And then when like Fox News is a great example, like everyone loves Fox News. And I'd warn people, I'd always like Tucker, Laura. I've said this all year, but I'm like, I know that they're corporate network. I know that they sell fear. I know that they're always hyping people up. I know the commercials are just nonstop pills, but, Fox News they gatekeep the audience. They got your attention. They showed you exactly what you wanted. And then it was the most crucial night of the year, perhaps the most crucial election in American modern history. And Fox News stabbed all of us in the back. It's like that happened. And like people were shocked. I've known they were, a corporate network, but even I didn't think they'd do that on election night. I was like, dang, but that's kind of with the Q stuff. I think people should just be cautious, because that's like people are like, well, they give me so much truth. Like Fox News gave you truth all year and then stabbed everyone in the back on the most important night. It's like Ben Shapiro tells the truth all the time, but like when it comes to the war, he's such a war hawk for Israel. He'll try to start any war, and he'll smear anybody who disagrees as an anti-Semite. He told everybody that Ron Paul was an anti-Semite. Ron Paul wants to choke Jews. He tweeted about this in 2012. He's like, Ron Paul hates Jews. Ron Paul never said anything about Jews. All Ron Paul said was he wanted to end the wars overseas. But anytime the wars end overseas, Ben Shapiro's anti-Semite radio goes off, and he's like, anti-Semite, anti-Semite. So it's like, it's like, how much can I trust somebody that is a conservative in 2016, been a conservative his whole life, told people not to vote for Trump, only disagrees with Trump, wants to start a war in Syria for reasons that don't make sense. Like, you get what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like, I don't know. I don't put my whole trust into people that I know are not trustworthy. So I think that's kind of the scheme that they go by. Like some of these Machiavellian styles of like, all right, we got them. Election night, off the cliff, Fox News, like literally just the biggest betrayal ever. Governor Kemp and Raffensperger. It's like conservative. As soon as the election comes, betrayal. Like the betrayals are just coming in so thick. It's like, it's sad stuff, but I think, and it's sad because everybody just wants someone to trust, You can't trust CNN, so you go to Fox News. You can't trust Fox News, you go to Newsmax. You can't trust, it's like everyone's running in circles. They're like, this is like psychological warfare on humanity. It's like we're just getting abused. I really truly believe they're psychologically abusing people. And like everyone has like PTSD because like you've been psychologically abused your whole life by media and all these cultural things. And then you finally get to the conservative side and you're like, oh my God, I finally found people that realize what's happening. And then this is like more abuse all the time. It's like psychological abuse from somebody who tells you conspiracy theories and then scares the shit out of you one day about coronavirus. And then the next week tells you it's fine. It's kind of psychologically abusive. And then, somebody gives you the whole plan and then throws you in the wrong direction when it matters. And then this guy, this news network tells you what you want to hear and then stabs you in the back on election night. This is like next level psychological warfare on the American people. It's gross. And I think, I'll try to be nice when I talk to people because I know people get mad when I say it, but I'm like, I understand why, because it's like everyone's just trying to find a home. And then you finally find a home. You finally find somebody that you actually like and trust. And then they delete their Facebook page or they cut my reach. And then you try to make a movement of patriots and you go out in the streets and then they take away your Facebook group. So it's like, we're just being abused, psychologically abused from all angles. Like they won't let us actually congregate with people who aren't demons. And as soon as you find someone that's not a demon, they sidetrack you to the next demon or fact check you with some, like, it's nuts. They won't leave us alone. But that's why I don't try to take it out on people. But I'm like, at the same time, I do have this energy this year. Maybe I should change it. Maybe I shouldn't, where it's like, until the lockdowns are over, I just feel like I'm not backing down. And I don't mean to take it out on people who watch my video, but I'm like, I'm not waiting for anybody. There's nothing you could say to convince me that I need to wait for any government agent or anybody in the Trump administration. Like, they've done their thing. In certain ways, I'm impressed. In other ways, I am not. They're working hard, but at the end of the day, I'm not waiting. I'm actively trying to stop these lockdowns. Someone said the Great Reset has started. Absolutely. What was the name of the man in the clip at the beginning? It's called Bill Cooper. If you Google search Bill Cooper Roman Circus, it should come up as like the first thing. Someone say reset the reset. That's what we got to do. Susan said that's why. Susan on Facebook said that's why they want to keep us masked. Yeah, I mean the data is very clear about masks. Like it's very clear that it's got pros and cons. Fauci studied masks for 20 years. He talked about it in February. He understands. I mean, I could tell you about the mask right now. Hopefully they won't take my video down. The pro of a mask is if you spit or sneeze or you're disgusting and you can't keep your fluids in your mouth, it'll stop the big droplets. And that has some value. That has value. If the mask is dirty at all, if you touch it, like literally almost 100% of people who wear masks does, if you reuse a mask, if you wear it for 5 hours, all the sweat, all the spit, all the dirt is all getting trapped on a napkin and a cloth and it's being put in your face. That alone, in my opinion, and in Fauci's opinion in February, offsets all the good parts of the mask. So yes, it blocks droplets. No, it doesn't block air from going in. No, it doesn't block air from going out. No, it's not this foolproof clean scheme. It's like very dirty. As somebody that is kind of a germaphobe, I find it disgusting and very unsanitary because it is unsanitary. I don't put my fingers in my mouth. I don't put other people's fingers in my mouth. I don't put dirty napkins in my face. So why would I do that for 5 hours? I mean, obviously there's bad side effects to it. So yeah, there's pros and cons to the mask. Another con is you can't see people's face. You take away their humanity. Rashes on your face, pneumonia, and other types of bacterial infections if it becomes soggy and moist, like most of them do if you wear them for hours. So the pros and cons, I would say the cons outweigh the pros, in my opinion. At best, they offset. And then you have the psychological effect of not seeing people's face, not being able to smile, not being able to talk. It's like a muzzle. It's like psychologically enslaving, like the cons outweigh the pros, no question. And for sure they know what they're doing, but yeah, I'm not in the mood for the mask right now. Someone said the mask should be a choice. They will be when enough people reject them. My buddy, I went off on my buddy. I feel a little bad. But I'm at the restaurant. I have reservations, and I fought with them, and I don't want to be mean, but I kind of cursed because I'm just like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" No, I'm sorry, I'm cursing, but they wanted me to wear a mask to walk 5 feet, and he's tapping on me and saying, "Just wear the mask. I want to eat here." And I'm like, "Bro, this is why they get away with it." We ended up sitting down. I didn't have to wear the mask, but it's like everybody wants to fall in line. So my friend wants me to fall in line. I'm like, fuck out of my face, my man. You go eat somewhere else if you're scared. I'll eat somewhere else if they don't let me in. I'm not doing it. This is why they get away with it, because we have 60% of the population, and out of that 60%, less than 1% actually wants to do something about it. And the other 59 are just like falling in line and telling everyone else to fall in line. I don't want to fall in line. I don't care. I'll never eat there again. I would love to not eat there again if they want me to wear a mask to walk 5 feet. I mean what I say when I live stream. I've enacted this at multiple times. I've been outdoors at an Apple store trying to get a printer, and he comes up to me and says, "Wear a mask." And I said, "I'm outside. I just want to know if you have my product. And if I go inside, I'll wear a mask. I'll be polite." And then he says, "Oh, you have to get out of line." I have to get out of the outdoor line. Fuck you, bro. I've said it to like 20 people. They need to be shamed for being such complacent sheep authoritarians. Like I'm not playing. So you get what I'm saying, though? I went off on my friend because he's trying to stop me from doing that. If I'm too big of an embarrassment to eat with, then don't eat with me. I'll eat by myself. It's fine. I eat alone quite often. But I mean what I say. And if enough people did that, they wouldn't be able to do that. They're empty on a Saturday night, hassling me to wear a mask outdoors. I'm like, do you want to go bankrupt? No one's even here. No one wants to even be here. I actually want to be here. I tip fantastically. I give like $40, $50 tips all the time because now I actually make money. I give it back. I'm the best tipper in the world. You don't want my money? You don't want my service because I won't wear a mask outdoors? That's not even a law. That's not even a rule here. You made up a stupid rule because it's like these idiots you can't wear that on your, like they're making up a new rule. We get it, Becky. You never had power. Now you have the power. I get it. I'm not impressed. get out of my face, or my money's going to Chick-fil-A. Someone said I sleep with my mask on. Some people do. If you like the mask, wear the mask forever. I don't care. They do, you know, some Asians do that. They've been wearing the mask for years. That's fine. I don't look at them and say, oh, how dare them wear the mask? I don't care. But when you force me to wear a mask outdoors, no, it's not happening. It's F you until I get my freedom back. All right. Once again, did not mean to go this long. Too long. All right. 10:02, officially 3 more minutes, and then it's over. All right. And I'm taking this very seriously. I'm applying for a medical exemption. I'm applying for a medical exemption. I'm doing my research about it, and I'm going to sue the shit out of any business that bothers me. So that's what's happening. I'm taking this very seriously. Let me see. Bonnie Hendricks said, if you don't agree, just say so. Stop with the misinformation crap. People can use critical thinking to come up with their own conclusions. Geez, I'm not even sure what you're talking about, Bonnie, but thank you. Real Dylan said, oh, what's up, Dylan? Dylan said, you're one of the best people to follow on Twitter. Well, thank you, Dylan. I appreciate it. I'm either one of the best people to follow on Twitter or one of the most annoying people to follow on Twitter. I guess it depends how you see it, but I'm really not in the mood now. Like, I see some self-hating white person. I'm just going off on them. Before, I'm like, leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be bothered. I don't care that you're, dressing up and pretending to be fairies or something. Like, just leave me alone. Now, they won't let me be alone. I can't do anything I like. Now, you're my enemy. It's like, I'm so sorry. I'm a white boy and white people are the problem. It's like, now you're getting ratioed on your own post. Now I come in and get 2,000 likes and you got 70 likes. I'm not trying to be more popular than you. I'm just like, if you hate yourself, go in the corner, Billy, and go get some therapy. I'm tired of these blue check mark celebrities. I'm white and I feel so bad. It's my fault. White people are such a problem. Go to therapy, bro. Stop blaming a billion people because you're a pathetic loser. Now my comment gets 2,000 likes. Your comment gets 5. It's not a popularity contest. It's a stop being such a pussy contest. It's stop blaming billions of white people for your own pathetic inner workings of blaming yourself for things that you don't even know if your ancestors did. I'm not having it this year. Sorry, folks. The communists ruined my fun, so now I'm going to ruin everyone else's fun. I'm going to be 10 times as funny, 10 times as annoyed, hopefully 10 times as productive. We'll see. Austin said, good work. Thank you so much. Billy needs to go back to the basement. I think so. I think he does. He was like some self-hating, like blue check mark, like bass player. It's like, bro, shut up, dude. We've heard this story time and time again. Someone said, you'll be fine, Anomaly. I mean, I'm not worried. I'm not a scared person. I'm not worried. I'm just annoyed. To be honest, on Twitter, I'm usually laughing and everybody thinks I'm mad. They're like, oh, you're so mad. I'm like, Dylan thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. And then a lot of people didn't think it was funny. Like, you can't have these complex conversations on Twitter because there's only there's no tone and it's just text. And then I say this like, oh my God, Anomaly's freaking out. I'm laying in bed, like kind of laughing at what I said. I don't know. I find it very funny, but apparently with no tone, it's not so funny to some people. And sometimes I hit home, like you joke about anything that people like, they freak out. They're like, Anomaly, you don't know me. I said something about Los Angeles where I lived for 7 years. And the guy was like, Anomaly, that's not true about Los Angeles. There's millions of good people here. I'm like, I know. I lived in Los Angeles. I still have friends I just said it was filled with shit, piss, tents, trash, and homelessness, and the city's screwed because they're doing a lockdown order. And this guy's like, it's not all of us. I'm like, I never said it was all of you. Like, what are you talking about, dude? He's like, I mean, no need to get mad at me. I'm like, I'm not mad at you. What are you talking about? He's like, man, you're rude. And like, this thing happens on Twitter all the time. I have to stay off Twitter. Remind me not to wake up at 5 a.m. and go on Twitter. It gets bad. All my own supporters start hating me. Some woman was like, she was like, I'm unfollowing you, Anomaly. You're not useful anymore. And then I like respond to her and she's like, geez, me and my husband like you. Gee whiz. She sounded like, I guess, a South Park character. And I'm just like, you started it. I don't even know who you are. I wouldn't even know if you posted. You posted some snarky things. You're like, you're not going to be laughing so far soon because I like you. I'm like, I'm laughing at what I said. I'm not laughing at you. I thought the joke I made was funny because it was. You're not going to be laughing soon. I'm unfollowing you. And then I respond. And then she's like, whoa. I'm like, I have to stay off Twitter. Making fun of Twitter is funnier than being on Twitter. Everyone starts getting mad at me. My lifelong supporters turn against me. Their husbands are probably mad at me. I was like, this all escalated from like you just being annoying. And then someone's like, I follow you on Instagram, Anomaly. I'm sorry I made you angry. I'm like, you're not making me angry. You're just really annoying. It's like, you're like poking me. And I'm like, just stop. And they're like, whoa, I didn't know that would just stop doing that. I don't understand. It's like, I'm sorry. Just leave me alone. Twitter's a dumpster fire. It's just not a good time for me. I don't know. Especially, I can't talk about the Q stuff on Twitter because people just do not handle it. At least here, there's like a funnier back and forth, and we can like agree to disagree or get to a point where we like mutually are like, okay, I get it. Yeah, that makes sense. Or like we just don't. We move on. But on Twitter, it does not work that way. The Q people get very frustrated at me. But it's been that way all year. That's all I'm talking about. And then they always say, it's not all of us. I'm like, I'm not saying it's all of you, but like in March, I didn't ask everyone to do something. It's like everyone's like, the lockdowns are good. They're all like, psh, psh, psh. And I'm just like, stop. And they're like, it's not all of us. It's not me. I'm like, all right, I know it was you because I saw you. Like I know at least 4 people. I remember at the time I took screenshots, not to like out people and make a video about it, just to make sure in my own head that I'm not going crazy. I knew multiple of my friends and people I follow that posted that John Podesta was going to get arrested on Easter. That was like a big side theory. And then I show it and I'm like, you just said that 2 weeks ago and Easter passed and John Podesta did not get arrested. And they're like, that it's not all of us. And I was like, now I see what you're doing. You make me feel crazy because I know it's not all of you. I know not everybody agrees to it. And he never said it. He said it. But like you definitely posted that. And then like they always have this way of like never admitting to it. And then the goalposts keep moving. It's like the Gavin Newsom Cuomo vibe where you catch them doing one lie, they move to the next lie, they move to the next lie. And then they're like, we have eternity basically to just wait for anything to happen. And when it happens, we're going to take credit for it. So like they almost make it annoying for it to happen. Like, obviously I want Trump to win this election, but now if Trump wins the election, the Q people are like, we told you. It's like, guys, I have friends on the front lines in the Trump administration that are like actively working towards making this happening. And like, you're taking full credit for it. You're like, it was all us. I'm like, no, Giuliani, James O'Keefe, you get what I'm saying? They make the dynamic of this so annoying, but it's also a really funny comedy skit. And then when I don't agree with them, they act like they have like 20,000 IQs. They're like, Anomaly, I've been researching 5 hours a day for 4 years. They're like, come back when you're as smart as me and you'll understand. I'm like, you're not that smart. Like, I'm not saying I'm that smart, but I'm just, I don't come on here and say I'm so much smarter than everybody else. I'm just like, I called it 4 years ago. I have the tweet. I'm just saying I read what they wrote. I'm not like, no one would watch my channel if I said that. I'd be like, you'd never understand what I know. I'm sure some people would watch it, but it's kind of like a condescending vibe where it's like, I'm like, no, you can understand what I know. Cause I literally, I didn't like study this in a witch's, cauldron and like cooking up spells. I literally just went to the World Economic Forum website and I follow good people on Twitter and I like am good at screenshotting good information. But it's like, they're like, you don't understand, Anomaly. You're not where I am. You'll get there. I'm like, okay, I'll learn. I'll get smarter. I'll try. I'll take a alpha male or whatever pills Alex sells. All right. Someone said, I'm glad you exist. Thank you. I'm grateful too. All right. 4 minutes and I'm gone. 10:15. I got to go because I want to edit this video and I want to be done with it by the morning. Let me see. Motto Jensen said, streams beacon for common sense right now. Come back to South Dakota anytime. We all had the Cove here. Nothing death rate exactly. Lots of love. Thank you. I love South Dakota. Yeah, I don't know about the winters though. I was looking. I'm looking at. I want to buy a property there. I don't know why. I feel like it's kind of a rash decision, but I want to buy a house there. But in general, people have been complimenting the shirt. The Common Sense Censored shirt. It's on dreamrare.com. That's my website. Get one if you want for Christmas or Thanksgiving. All my hats are like sold out. I apologize, but the hat companies just COVID-19, the pandemic just wiped out all my America flag hats. So I guess we'll get those in 2021. But if you want a shirt, feel free to get one. That's all. Someone said it's a good winter. That's the frozen wall, bro. No, I hear you. I mean, strategically too, it's like it's a great thing to have a cold winter. Like no one's gonna mess with South Dakota. In the summer, y'all are having fun, not wearing masks. In the winter, y'all are frozen, so no one wants to go there. You know, so like the communists will just leave you alone. I kind of like that vibe. I'm looking at some property out there. I'm not gonna lie. I did it on Zillow, and the guy keeps calling me. I feel bad. I never answer because I'm not in South Dakota, but something's telling me to buy land there. I know it is. It's the fact that it's the only semi-free state in the country. So something's telling me to just get land out there and get a car and then drive to South Dakota when they shut the internet off. But we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll just starve and die in South Dakota, though. I don't know. I'm like, let me go to South Dakota, and then I just end up there in the winter and there's no food or something. I got to figure it out. I got to have a game plan for next year. We'll work through it. Someone said Trump can't win. We'll see. I think he has a path. Cal said, I like it in Iowa. Winters suck. I'm going to read this. Erica said, hey, Anomaly, how did it go handing out the packets? I want some advice when I do it. So, Erica, it was mixed reviews. I think it was mixed reviews. But, you know, I'm going to update the website because it's tricky because now that I did it myself, you know, how do you take this packet and convince a business to stay open? There's other strategies that I've thought since then that are easier. So you could wing it like I did. And, you know, I actually got one good response from one business owner. She was like, thank you so much. We're closed. And I was like, but now if you have a sheriff in a county that is open, you know, now my strategy might be to print out like little things and be like, you don't have to close, just open and no one will stop you. And also I'm going to have like links of businesses, a link to businesses so they know their constitutional rights. Apparently there's another website that I'll link to that will explain to every business how to use the Constitution or the law in their favor and put it on the wall so they don't get in trouble. Those are things that might help more. So the packet was kind of like a spur of the moment thing. You know, it's a tricky thing because some people don't want to hear it, some people do, but it's experimental. If you want to pass them out, that's cool. Just spread the word to business owners. Combine that with the protests going on. But I'm gonna update the website because I understand it's a little sporadic. You know, like someone said they printed it and someone took them out of their car. So I was like, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like a spur of the moment thing, but I'll work on the website to make it more like compact. I have so much stuff to do. I'm tired even thinking about it. I got to go after this. I'm trying to finish my book. It should have been done already, but it's not. I'm going to blame the election because it was so crazy. I'm editing a video for the next 2 hours. I'm going to finish it. It's going to be out in the morning. Going to be one of the best videos I've done in a while. I got furniture coming and other stuff. So I got to figure it out. I don't know. I got so much to do that I'll get to the website, and then I do customer service for my shirts, dreamrare.com. I do my own customer service, give refunds when I need, when the hats sell out, all that stuff. So I get tired just thinking about what I have to do. So I gotta hone in on it, not get overwhelmed, and just start executing, and maybe get like a manager or something at some point. Give the link for the businesses. Well, my website's exposedlockdowns.com. I don't know the link yet, but I'm going to add it within the next couple of days to that website. So I don't know it off the top because my friend just texted it to me, Lara, and I'm going to put it on that website. She's fantastic. She's on the ball. And then I don't know who told me on Instagram, but shout out whoever messaged me on Instagram and showed me how I could get my medical mask mandate. I love that. That's like my favorite thing, where it's like, I can't wait to be like Cartman with I'm going to be like Cartman with the 6 feet thing. If you guys saw the South Park episode, I'm going to be like that with my medical mask mandate. I mean, I'm just going to be I'm not wearing a mask. And then they're like, oh, the police are coming. I'm like, oh, that's great. Cause I have my lawyer on the phone. Like I can't wait to do that. I have no time for illegal activity. I love the law. I love this country and I just want to follow the law. So someone said, I do the Carmen voice. I'm so tired. I can't even do it. I got to stop eating ice cream too. Last night I woke up at like 3 a.m. and ate 3 ice cream sandwiches. It's not a good idea. It was like almond milk ice cream. So it feels healthier, but it's really not, and I put peanut butter on it. That's why I just knocked out like all day, but I was out till 1 a.m. yesterday, but too much information. But I'm like thinking about all the stuff I have to do, the ice cream sandwiches. It's all just coming down on me now. I'm like, I shouldn't have ate those. It's like slow motion. Someone says sugar is poison. It's almond milk. So it feels healthy. Okay. I'm not perfect. I slap peanut butter on it and then it feels healthier. I'm like, oh, well, now it's like a peanut butter smoothie. It's okay. I don't love this corrupt country. Barry, we'll make it not corrupt. It's okay. All right. I got to go, guys. It's like 3 hours. I did not mean to stay this long. Hour max. It's fun, though. I like arguing with people who get mad at me. I find it funny. I like people that don't get mad at me. I find that nice. And I appreciate everybody who watched. Thank you, guys. Hopefully that was enjoyable. And to LA, got to do something, folks. Maybe I'll come to LA and help y'all. I like the people there. I really do. I just don't like LA County, but maybe I'll try to figure out a way to help y'all. God bless y'all. You know, if business owners, whatever you got to do, let me know, hit me up. And I'm going to update exposedlockdowns.com to try to have more information to help people on a level. But we're going to keep building. We're going to keep growing the protests. We're going to turn the lockdown protests into the Stop the Steal protests into lockdown protests probably. And, you know, just demand our freedom back. And if that grows and we reach that crossing point, we can end this stuff. I mean, out of any country in the world, we should be the #1 country to be able to fight this. We have the First Amendment. We have the Second Amendment. We have the right to peacefully protest, and we should be in the best position to stop these sort of things. But it's like so much psychological diversion that no one's doing it. We'll get on the right page. Someone said, Gavin, pour the almond milk, make sure it's hot. All right, let's calm down, Dylan. I can't deal with that super chat right now. Have a good one, though. I'll be back tomorrow. Check my video. It's going to be one of my best ones. It's like a very edited, planned out video. So I'm about to do that. All right. Thanks. YouTube. I'm out. Thanks, Facebook. Appreciate y'all.